All right, and we're live. I think probably. All right, we should be live now. Good God, man. Walter still coming in hot. Username Walter Kami, how's it going, man? Walter, how many fucking points do you have, bro? 375. What is that? 7 hours? Almost. Nagato, good afternoon, Mr. Fool. Woolblock, how's it going, man? How's it? Luvion, Boobla Hoopa, DSV, how y'all doing? He finally read Foggy Town. Oh shit, nice, nice. How did he like it? 375 is 5 hours. Shit, my math is wrong here, right? I apologize. But I only scheduled it like 12 hours ago, so still insane, all the same. Oh, by the way, we did hit our little mini goal to do the whole monocle shenaniganery. He said it's his favorite arc so far. Oh shit. I don't know if I'd go that far. I still rank Grozel's Travel really highly, but I mean, I can see it. It was fun. He was hyped with the whole Steam and graced with we need to team tag the Demoness of Despair. Okay, cool. Nagato, how's it going? I've never tried iced coffee with pancakes. I always just do hot coffee though. Volume 4 is his favorite volume. I think it's mine too, I think. No, it's mine for sure. I think it's mine for sure. How's everyone doing this fine Wednesday afternoon? Or Thursday morning? Yes, so we, 10 up, how's it going, man? So we did hit the little mini goal to do the monocle, to buy a monocle. I don't even know where to buy one. I looked on Amazon and I can't fucking find one. I can't find, like, the one that you would want, you know? Everything I'm finding is like magnifying glasses and stuff. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't even know where the monocle eyeglass, maybe? Google. Yeah, thanks, Bulls. I hadn't fucking thought of that. Google it. Let's just search for Amon. He'll give you one. Damn. Yeah, I don't think he unfortunately likes the northern continent very much. He seems to be much more Eurostan. So, you know, if one of my European fellows wants to take it from him and then just like send it to me or something, that'd be great. But I unfortunately don't just have him to give it to me. Monocle to wear? Half moon monocles. Maybe that's what I need to search up. Half moon monocles. Half moon monocle. With 1 second of Googling, I already found one on Amazon. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Yeah, okay, send me the link, Bullseye. Send me the link, bitch. I'm looking for a gold one, though, because I think Amon's is gold, right? I think that's it. If it's not, I'm imagining it, so I'm with a gold one either way. A golden one, rather. Not a gold one. That might send the wrong impression. I ain't that rich. Okay. Try outer. No! Oh my god! No! Ah, that's good. That's good. How didn't you think of water? Okay, I had a very good train of logic, okay? Date her, as in you date her. And then later, as in she is late. And then you say, see ya later, alligator. And then she has to cater food for the baby shower all alone. Haha! Oh, God. Okay. to anyone, particularly women watching this in the VOD, obviously, joke, crude one, perhaps bad one, doesn't reflect my care for women. Of course, yeah. Okay, what is a Chateaubriand? Chateaubriand. Is that what the fuck is that? Chateaubriand. It's a food? A dish made of tenderloin grilled. Ah, I see. Okay. Boogeyman. Phantom. Wait, no. Tomahawk. Porterhouse. This word. Flatrion. Let's go! Kind of steak. Mortgage. Insurance. No, I don't know. Wombat. Appraisal. No, wait. Appraisal, mortgage, insurance. Escrow. Things you do when buying a house. Let's go! I don't know what geoduck is. Boogeyman. Phantom. Hobgoblin. I don't know what bugbear is. Wombat? Fuck. Bugbear? Let's go! The ones with animals in their words. Oh, duck, mouse, horse, bat. Oh, clever, Mr. Fool. I only got it by, animals ending with mammals? Animals ending with animals. Oh, cool. Bro, who's pinging me on Discord? I need to turn off Discord. How the fuck do I have Discord I have Discord closed in 3 places. Oh, I'm so cooked. I just closed the one with the music, didn't I? I closed the one with the music. God, I'm so dumb. I closed the one with the music. When taken next? No, we'll do Lexicon first, and then we can do when taken. We got 7 minutes. We should be able to. By the way, how's everyone doing? I didn't get much answers. What's up? By the way, to everyone saying that you found a monocle, I don't know who said that, but bro, just send me the link. What the fuck? Where can I see it? Lexicon. No, not practice. Game. Nice. This is today's game? This is today's game? 527. Nice. Brick foundation. No. Brick building. Check Discord. That's me. Oh, thank you. Brick house. Fewer. Less. Less. More. What the fuck? Less more. More. More greater. Greater big. Greater and big don't. Greater and great. Greater and great don't fucking somehow. I mean, technically you could get Amon monocle. Where's that one? Where do Amon monocle? Holy fuck. Would it be this one? Is it this one? I mean, that is expensive, but I mean, we can... Oh, Mr. Yee's Steamland, I think so. That is, I mean, that is expensive, but you know what? We got a job. We can swing it. Don't tell my parents, please. Mom, if you're watching, click away. You don't want to see me do this. Okay, and then okay. And then Bullseye also sent this one. They're like the same price, although to be honest, this one might be more expensive because this might be US. Actually, I'm almost certain this is US. I don't think so, Bullseye, because that's almost certainly 50 US, which is like $62 or something Canadian. I don't know. So this one is technically cheaper, and this is the official Lord of the Mysteries Amon one. Why is there like fucking... well, that gold one doesn't have the ear thing, so it's hard for an inexperienced... The arm? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. We can... Okay. Do you guys like this? I mean, I'm just getting this for you guys. It's gonna be... I'm gonna wear it for like one stream, and it's gonna fucking go in the garbage dump. Not literally, but it's just gonna sit in my bookshelf forever. But I mean, that is cool. Do we like it? I mean, we'll check in a little bit later, you know, when more people are here. But this one is nice. We'll keep this open. This is nice. Looks at least to be well made. Shipping count. Wait, you say free international shipping. This better include international shipping. God damn it! If it's like $20 for, you should get the. God damn it, username. Bro, let me see if this includes shipping really quickly. What? Oh my god. Mechanical pocket watch. Only $60? Divination? Tarot? Can I click on this without getting spoiled? Probably. $0. Oh, sold out, that's why. Reverend Tarot? Oh, these are so cool. That's not... Okay. So if I go to Divination, and I go to... Where would I find it? What did you say? Mr. Yee Steamland Pendulum? Pendulum. Would it be... What is I Ching? I don't know what this is. Oh, change tarot? No. Accessories? Oh, this one. Oh, topaz pendant. This is so cool. Wow, that is cool. Oh, and I can actually just wear it. I mean, I would never, but I mean, I could in theory. I mean, I could wear it as a necklace. I would never wear it as a fucking around my arm. Come on, man. I say... Bullseye, it's not... Bro, it's $50 US. This is not cheaper. I'm not... This is 52 Canadian. I promise, it's not cheaper. I mean, it might be cheaper if I end up ordering this Spirit Pendulum too. Fuck, username. I'm not letting you talk me into this. God damn it, it spent $100. The second one. Did you send a second one? Oh, you sent a second one? What? What the fuck are you talking about? This is the same one for the same price. What are you on? Bullseye is having a fucking stroke. Bro, start to divine. Yo, my morning meetings, I'm like setting up for them and I'm like, is my client number one gonna be a bitch? No username. I don't need the Bullseye. Yeah, 37 US, motherfucker. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't understand how conversion works. I've been talking about it for like 3 times. You know what, username? Join, you know what, username? Join the Discord really quickly. We're gonna do a fight, and we're gonna do a fight in the Divination Club. If you win, I will buy the pendulum too. If you don't, then it's just the monocle. God damn it. Bro, what the fuck? I was supposed to spend like $30. How did you guys convince me to spend like $100? What the fuck is going on here? I'm being lied to. I want to be lied to. Don't get me wrong, but like, damn, this is crazy. Please tell me this includes shipping. It does not include shipping. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Hold on. Let me see if this includes shipping. This is better, bro. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Thank God. Woo! It does. Whew, you guys are cooked. Otherwise, I'm not doing that. But okay. Okay. Did he join? You did. All right. Username. Let's go to the Divination Club. I'm gonna do fight. I'm gonna challenge you to a fight. What's up, bitch? Bring it. Your turn, username. How the fuck is his HP not going down? What is happening? Now you're just trying to rob me at the same time. This is cooked. Username, let's go. What are we doing, motherfucker? Oh my God, why am I getting so cooked? Why is he doing so much more damage than me? No, I'm gonna lose. I have to buy a spirit pendulum. No! No! Oh, the humanity. What the fuck? You're fighting a cultivator? No! It doesn't technically say I lost, does it? See, it doesn't technically say I lost, so really it's a draw. We're not buying it. Nope. Fucking $90 for that? God damn it. I haven't even gotten my first fucking payout from YouTube, and you guys already want me to spend it on useless bullshit. God damn it, no. This is crazy. Alright, let me open up Thorium. Alright. Alright, chapter 1001. Burst movement. A monocle never use, bro. It's like literally the definition of useless. God damn it! How the fuck did I fall for that? That was so dumb. Who told me to fight username, bro? Fucking inside man. Kami, what music? While it's closing in. Fuck's sake! Actual fucking inside man. God damn it. All that. Give me the... Fuck, I'm so ticked. Shit. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is what I went to work to torture myself for, you know, so I could spend $100 And a fucking monocle and a spirit pendulum. Give me the fuck. God damn it. Maybe we should buy a top hat. No, Bullseye. No. Enough. Okay. Okay, enough. Chapter 1000 and 1. Oh shit, yes, we crossed 1,000. Oh my god, we're goated. 1,000 chapters and 1,000 dynasties may come and go, but the drip stays. Alright, first movement. When the wraith in front of him was gone, Emlyn White retracted his gaze, untied the thread on the dossier, and pulled out the documents inside. Oh, by the way, Merrick became a wraith? I have the Windbreaker coat to finish the set. You know what? Is this monocle, like, is there a fucking, I'm curious. Is there a lens in it? Is it like a magnifying glass, or is it a, what is it? Is it just straight glass? Oh, there's a handcrafted quartz pocket watch. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, Mr. Yi one. Surprisingly affordable. Fuck, no, stop, no. What is happening? No, stop. God, what the fuck was that? Okay. This Viscount had a routine which was random. Staying at home, out visiting exhibitions, partaking in wine, tasting at manors in the outskirts, shopping at department stores with female companions, or sketching female models. But this way, the Viscount's life became repetitive. The places he visited, the paths he took, and the places he had lunch were repeated every day. Emlyn pressed down on his temples, seriously filtering out the 3 venues which were suitable for the operation. The first was inside or at the entrance of the furniture factory owned by Ernest. The second was the St. Highland Square, where he had stopped along the way for a meal. The third was the Backland Bridge. Unless Ernest was willing to take a huge detour, he had to pass by this area when traveling home. These 3 spots meet the requirement of having plenty of people, making it chaotic. But Backland Bridge has too few exits and entrances. When the 2 ends lock down, one can only exit by jumping into the river, an act only chosen by idiots. St. Highland Square comes under St. Highland Cathedral, core to the Church of Steam and Machinery in Backland, and even the entirety of Lone. It's akin to the Second Holy See. Once Emlyn had an inclination, and once a living being had one, they would unknowingly seek more reasons to affirm their choice. The more he thought, the more convinced he was that the St. Highland Square was the right choice. First, Ernest wouldn't stay in the area for too long. Second, there were plenty of tracked carriages stopped by in the vicinity. Third, with it as the origin, one would enter the area south of the bridge if one didn't head to the Backland Bridge. It would then be close by to the Harvest Church. Finally, at noon, the St. Highland Cathedral would spew steam, turn its levers, and chime a clock. It was inevitable for everyone's attention to be attracted. Eric, how's it going? Queen, how's it going? No worries at all, Queen. I appreciate you popping by at all. I'll see you for our morning stream. I'll see you for our morning stream Sunday morning. Sorry, I was gonna stream Saturday, but then my manager asked me to work Saturday. Romero, how's it going? Yeah. It was so suitable that all conditions were met. Will Ernest be wary against my revenge? Why would he allow himself to stay in such an environment for so long? Even if he's stupid, wouldn't the Earls warn him? The corners of Emlyn's mouth curled up as he understood. The St. Highland reason was the venue the sanguine upper echelon had designated for him. Emlyn chuckled, keeping his mouth curled up. Trust me, Queen, I get it. I am trying to maintain like a half my pace from when I wasn't working, but shit, man. Like, I feel like when I'm talking to you guys, like, I feel like I'm like, fuck, like, I really want to, I'm so sleepy, I want to go to bed. He had decided to request Mr. Fool to have a gathering for the few members and invite the Hanged Man to discuss the plan in detail. This was different from the framework they had previously decided on. They needed to consider every detail. At 15 minutes to 12, St. George, Borough, St. Highland Square. In a private room on the third story of a restaurant northwest of the square, a figure stood in front of the window, holding a cup filled with scarlet blood-like liquid. He was leisurely looking at the fountain nearby and the crowds that came and went. No, Queen. This isn't work. Like, yeah, like, I have to stay up a little bit longer than I would like to, because I'm probably going to be done at, like, 11:30 or something. But, like, this is, like, me just chilling, you know? I get to have fun with you guys, so this doesn't feel like work. But either way, I do appreciate that. You have a good night, Queen. Hope you can get some sleep. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna be okay, Bullseye, but I appreciate it too, buddy. No worries, Romero. Okay. A figure stood in the window, holding a cup of scarlet blood-like liquid. He was leisurely looking at the fountain nearby. He was a lanky person, wearing a formal suit meant for banquets. His light hair color was nearly silver. His bright red eyes combined together gave him a sense of coquettishness, coquettish handsomeness. Good lord. Apparently, you're exactly 70% done? Oh, shit. My lord, will it really be fine? Emlyn seemed to be different from before. The man who had been politely addressed cast his gaze at the square where Emlyn White stood. Our preparations are even enough against a demigod, much less a kid who hasn't even become a viscount. Besides, we don't really plan on doing anything serious. Our goal is to identify and confirm. A lot simpler than preventing certain people from escaping. As he spoke, the man with the light hair and bright red eyes raised his right hand slightly, rotating the ring on his left finger. The ring was made from silver, and embedded in it was a strange gem with ghostly blue hue. Yes it is, Walter. I actually did know that. On a carriage driving towards the St. Highland Square, Ernest Boyer had his right hand over his left. He casually rotated the ring on his finger that had a ghostly blue gem embedded in it. What the fuck are they doing? What are they trying to do to Emlyn? By the way, there's no something important's gotta happen, right? There's no fucking chance you guys have me reading 10 fucking chapters because Emlyn is doing something. Don't get me wrong, he's fine, but like, bro, there's no fucking shot. Something else better happen. He casually looked out the window and saw a trackless carriage slowly drive over from afar. A paperboy slightly taller than 160 centimeters had a sling bag across his chest as he pedaled his papers across the street. The number of workers wearing light blue or grayish blue uniforms with hats exceeded the number of people in formal suits and top hats. Don't underestimate my goat Emlyn. He is the sanguine messiah. You're not ready? The vampire messiah? Yeah, I don't care about the vampire messiah, bro. Dr. Z is not here, okay? Your fucking propaganda of sanguine doesn't work. In the inner pocket where his silver pocket watch was... Oh, no, wait. Emlyn retracted his gaze and chuckled. He had no fear of what would happen next. He believed that they had made plenty of preparations. He wore Oath of Rose on his left hand. It allowed him to share what he saw, heard, and smelled with the Earl Mistral from far away. In his inner pocket, where his silver pocket watch was, there was a moon paper figurine These could suffer a single lethal blow or an attack that targeted his spirit body. It ensured that he wouldn't suffer any serious injuries. He also wore Alcohol Nemesis, a diamond brooch. It kept him brimming with energy, with lucidity in his thoughts. It raised his resistances against spells that acted on the body of heart and mind. By his waist was a belt named Moonlight Sash. It could effectively reduce the sun and lightning damage. How many fucking items does this guy have on? He's starting to remind me of Gearman Sparrow. What the fuck? These mystical items were the accumulation of Ernest's wealth that were bestowments from Earl Mistral. It made sure that Ernest was a target that could hardly be quickly finished off or controlled. With the Sanguine Viscount's natural resistances against nightmare-type influences, Ernest was nearly without weakness. Even against a demigod, he could put up a decent fight as long as the latter didn't reveal their mythical creature form. I fucking doubt that. You're telling me if Gearman showed up here, this guy would be able to put up a fight? Doubt it. You're getting knocked out. The only problem is the negative effects of all these items are excessive. The Oath of Rose would make his thoughts appear in Earl Mistral's mind from time to time. If he kept wearing it for a week without removing it, the pair who had the matching rings might end up in love. Moon Paper figurine was an expendable item. It had nearly zero side effects. The Alcohol Nemesis brooch problem was that it would deal with continuous damage to one's liver and brain. If it was worn for an excessively long period of time, it might result in one losing one's thoughts or logical reasoning. Therefore, you had to take it off for 15 minutes every half hour. Jesus! You can wear it for a half hour and then you gotta take it off for 15? That's not great. Once Moonlight Sash was worn, it made all his senses much sharper, making it easy for one to see and hear things that one shouldn't see or hear. At the same time, the wearer would feel itchy. Let's hope they don't cower in fear and that this doesn't drag on, Ernest Boyer chuckled. On the other side of the square, Emlyn, who was taking in the sights on the buskers of the streets, suddenly looked at the bird that flew over. Following that, he raised his hand to press down his hat, bowing his head slightly. He walked to the middle of the square and approached the fountain. In this process, Emlyn's figure kept moving as he mixed into the crowd. However, this failed to avoid Earl Mistral's tracking. This sanguine Earl, with silver hair, rotated the ghostly blue gem ring on his left finger and said, "Take note." At the entrance of the St. Highland Square, Ernest grew increasingly pumped. He knew that the operation was about to begin. Emlyn still chose St. Highland Square after all. Ernest cast his gaze on the window once again, warily watching the pedestrian on the street, the trackless carriages about to pass, and the ordinary paper boy peddling his papers. They said he has a resistance to nightmare-type enemies. But, like, Emlyn would know that, right? And Leonard probably still solos. I mean, knocks him unconscious for a few seconds. He still didn't believe that Emlyn's partners were hiding in there, because there were even more, better spots in St. Highland Square that made it conducive to action. Suddenly, his body lunged forward as he nearly got out of his seat. The carriage stopped without warning. Right on the heels of that, the horses that pulled the carriage seemed to be in a nightmare as they raised their front hooves, struggling wildly, flipping the carriage to the ground. During this process, Ernest Boyer had plenty of space, time, and strength to help the carriage driver control the berserk horse, but he didn't, because he saw a transparent wolf-shaped specter jump over from outside the window. It had thrown a rose within its body. A rose? What? Ernest Boyer's eyes widened as the carriage toppled. He jumped to the side and out the carriage as he made an illusory and incorporeal black chain extend out of the void. It wrapped the wolf-shaped specter. With a soft puff, the wolf-shaped scepter dissipated without a struggle. Who's the wolf? Although now that I think about it, I'm also curious why the fuck the seer pathway are maggots. Because who do maggots because like I'm thinking to the 8 ancient gods. There's 8, I think, right? I don't know anyone that had maggots, and I know there's only 8 of them, but like Dragon King Onkvald, the imagination pathway, he had the the spectral form or mythical form of Beyonders of the spectator pathway is like similar to a dragon. They get scales and stuff. So who the fuck would have been the worms of time? That would be worms. And who the fuck are these transparent maggots? Who the fuck would that be? So many questions. Sorry. Wait. No. Alright. Back to it. And when Ernest Boyer found his footing, he stood there motionless, his eyes turbid. He had been pulled into a deep sleep. In a trackless public carriage that passed by him, a black-haired, green-eyed young man wore a thin trench coat. His back was facing the middle of the street. Around him, the other passengers were either reading their newspapers or chatting. Some looked out to see the berserk horses. With a whoosh, the black-haired, green-eyed man flipped a page of the notebook. The trackless carriage continued forward and gradually distanced itself. Leonard didn't even have to get out of his carriage. He just fucking knocked sequence 5 out, well, without even getting up from his seat. He's like, haha, you ain't shit. Second movement. Are we gonna do the next 10 movements? St. Highland Square, in the northwestern corner, a third story of a restaurant. When the wolf spectre with the rose appeared in front of Ernest Boyer, the silver-haired, scarlet-eyed minstrel retracted his gaze from Ernest. Darkness suffused from around him as countless tiny bats flew in. Bribe. Just as the sanguine silently muttered this word, he saw the toppled carriage, heard the gnawing of the horses, and smelled all kinds of smell. But he wasn't able to find the origin of the disturbance and accident. Bribe? Interesting. At this moment, his vision darkened as his eyes seemed to lose the ability to take in light. Earl Mistral chortled inwardly as he immediately fused with the bats around him, rematerializing beside Ernest Boyer. Suddenly, in his black vision, a point of light appeared. This point of light rapidly expanded as it grew brighter and brighter. A golden figure with 12 pairs of pitch-black wings walked out of it. Angel. The pair of wings spread out, blanketing Mistral's vision, causing light and darkness to mix. This created mysterious and complicated symbols that didn't differentiate themselves between the figure. It was both holy and corrupted, both light and dark. Angel! Mistral's pupils widened. In the confusion, Ernest Boyer rapidly snapped awake when he saw a pair of limpid eyes that resembled crystalline gems or a lake. He felt a copy of the newspapers being stuffed into his hand. In those emerald green eyes were ripples. Deep within the emanating ripples were twirls of a vortex that seemed to suck the soul out of anyone who laid their eyes on them. Ernest Boyer instantly became engrossed in it as he couldn't move his eyes away. He then heard a gentle, ethereal female voice. Take this newspaper and follow Emlyn White. Take this newspaper and follow Emlyn White. This voice was layered as it resounded within Ernest's ears, drilling into his brain. Ernest nodded in a daze, sensing there was more, but he couldn't hear it clearly. The paperboy with a sling bag diagonally across his shoulders swiftly turned around and passed through the bicycle, mixing into the crowd. This boy had a pretty face as his messy hair drooped down and hid his brows. He then walked and took off his black fishnet gloves that he had worn at some point in time. As the wind blew, his clothes shrank on the spot. As the wind blew, his clothes shrank as a spot on his exposed arm protruded out. A few seconds later, Ernest Boyer jumped up from where he stood. No good. I was influenced by a nightmare. Just as he found his footing, his pupils dilated as he looked around his surroundings. Although Ernest was perplexed how he could be pulled into a dream, he knew that it wasn't the time. What followed next would be key, and he couldn't be distracted. Didn't he already get fucking influenced? What? You would rather me stop at 1009, Adam? I'm game. I can stop at 1006 actually if you guys want, you know, really. A few bicycles passed by him as they used their bells to warn the gentleman in the middle of the road to make way. Ernest's eyes narrowed as he glared at him. The muscles under his clothes were ready to deliver their might. These few bicycles circled around him as the pedestrians came and went. Gong! 12 gongs were heard as the white steam spewed out of the chimneys of the St. Highland Cathedral. The holy hymns of praise resounded as the gears and levers got to work. On the square, everyone stopped their footing. At that moment, they closed their eyes in prayer, or were silently listening, regardless of whether they were believers or not. As the gongs resounded, no one moved, even the Earl, who was in a private room at the restaurant. His vision had already recovered, but all he saw were workers wearing grayish-blue or light-blue clothes. Apart from that, he discovered nothing, and Ernest hadn't been injured at all. He could guess that the paperboy was problematic from the newspaper in the Viscount's hand, but he didn't even make an attempt to pursue. Clearly, the power that had borrowed the level of an angel didn't belong to a mid or lower mid-sequencer. This meant that Emlyn's faction had at least a demigod hidden in the vicinity. They don't. Mistral believed that once he took action, he was bound to be stopped. In a situation of being easily detected while not knowing where his opponents were hiding, Mistral believed that it would spell trouble. Furthermore, to the Sanguine, this was only a test. If the faction backing Emlyn had mobilized a demigod, they could detain that powerhouse, thanks to Ernest Boyer's protective measures. And through the Oath of Rose, Mistral could confirm the attacker's identity. They had never thought of escalating the matter into an intense conflict. In their plans, it only involved Earl Mistral, stopping the other party to prevent Ernest Boyer from suffering harm. In the present situation, they lost their initiative. To forcefully carry out a pursuit meant highly likely that it would result in a demigod battle. In Backland, that was equivalent to suicide. Beside Mistral, the other demigod hadn't personally taken action and had only provided auxiliary help. To personally take action and make pursuit of the loss of decorum. To make pursuit would be a loss of decorum, and an insult to his reputation. I want to see what happens next. Mistral's face twitched. As the 12 gongs rose, Emlyn started walking again. He circled around the fountain and arrived at the other side of the St. Highland Square. He then saw Ernest Boyer, who had his back hunched slightly, afraid to even move. He saw the toppled carriage and the horse that was flicking its tail. Emlyn walked over, took out his wallet, and pulled out £100. He then said to the carriage driver, "Your compensation." Huh? The carriage driver wore a blank, but pleasantly surprised look. The carriage wasn't his. He was only an ordinary employee, and the carriage was damaged because of the horse. He experienced a brief moment of pinch. Following that, it was anxious and despair that ruled his mind. That's actually rather sweet. I wouldn't think Emlyn would do that. That's sweet. During this moment, all kinds of thoughts surfaced in the carriage driver's mind. They were mainly of three types. One was to scare the frozen gentleman and get him to pay the compensation. But now that he had £100, he suddenly felt his mind groggy. He was at a loss for words. £100 was more than enough to buy a brand new rental carriage. Emlyn ignored the carriage driver and looked at Ernest. Everything's fine now. Aren't you the biggest problem? How could it be fine with you here? Ernest lampooned. For some unknown reason, he felt that he should believe Emlyn and even approached him. Emlyn shot him a glance, turned around and walked into the alley. Ernest subconsciously opened his stride and followed closely behind. Got him! The two sanguine moved very quickly, with one running and the other chasing. When Earl Mistral sensed the two sanguine were beyond the reach of his spirituality, he used the connection of the Oath of Rose rings to follow behind. Oh my god. You know what's gonna... Okay, you know what's gonna happen? Because Ernest Boyer is out of his fucking mind, he's gonna forget to take the ring off. And then he's gonna go into the Harvest Church and be in it and become a priest of the Earth Mother. And because he still has the ring on, the other guy is also gonna good lord, is also gonna become a priest of the Earth Mother. And then now they have 3 sanguine as the priests of the Earth Mother. Father Utravsky's reach is unfucking knowable. Emlyn occasionally made detours, taking shortcuts and occasionally returning to the spots they had been before. It made it difficult to guess where he was going. Unknowingly, the two sanguine arrived at the Rose Street, south of the bridge. At this moment, Emlyn sped up. He wasn't afraid that others saw him producing after-images as he dashed right into the church, and Ernest did the same. Not good. From afar, Earl Mistral was just about to descend upon them to stop the subsequent development when Ernest's figure vanished inside the church. A tile at Mistral's foot instantly shattered. After entering the cathedral, Ernest came to a realization. He then saw a figure wearing a brown priest robe stand in front of him. He appeared like a mountain. At this moment, the entire cathedral turned heavy as if it was a jail. It seemed to fuse with the land itself. Ernest's mind buzzed as he heard another voice in his mind. After you awaken from the first hypnosis, throw all the items on you to Emlyn White. Oh, he's even gonna rob him of his shit! Oh, the sanguine gave you all these items? Well, mine now, bitch. I am the sanguine. Haha. Amidst shuffling sounds, Ernest took off his sash, brooch, and the various items and threw them towards Emlyn White. This is a fucking robbery in a church. Let's go. God would approve. Yoink. Stonks. The newspaper in hand fell to the ground, throwing out a paper card that was stuffed inside. It was the tarot card. Justice. Haha. Both misjustice and justice to this bitch, Ernest Boyer. Let's go! God, this music is so good. Ritornello. Am I supposed to know what this word means? Ritornello. A short instrumental refrain or interlude in vocal work. Interesting. I do not know what that refers to. Okay. After throwing everything other than his clothes, Ernest Boyer was stunned as he snapped to his senses. What the hell am I doing? What the hell did I just do? A psychological cue? No. Hypnosis. His gaze then landed on the mountain-like figure. He saw Father Utravsky. Instantly, Ernest Boyer had all sorts of thoughts run through his mind, but he soon came to one intense realization and didn't put up any resistance and said, I'll come here to do a month of volunteer work. Emlyn's predicament had long been spread among the sanguine and backland. Ernest Boyer was well aware of Father Utravsky, and he knew that even if he were to put up a fight, it would be difficult for him to escape the fate of doing work. He might as well surrender and choose conditions that are better for him. At the very least, I shouldn't have any cues implanted in my mind and end up converting my fate to the Earth Mother. This thought flashed through Ernest's mind. He discovered a lantern in Utravsky's hand. Inside it was a strange candle that seemed to be covered in human skin. Oh, you're getting that cue put in, brother. And then you become a full-time believer in the Church of the Earth Mother. You know, it's not so bad. I mean, you guys make fun of Emlyn, but not because of his fate. You know, his fate is his faith is the least embarrassing thing about him. Under the candlelight's illumination, Ernest's pupils widened again. He had only one thought in his mind. Another psychological cue. Alright, Utravsky nodded and agreed to Ernest's request. Emlyn held back his smugness and smiled. He then looked at the items he had caught. In a private room on the third story of the restaurant, the lights darkened as a huge shadow appeared. Bats flew out of the darkness, clumped together. My lord, are you eating? Yes. He walked to the table with a composed look and took off the ring with a ghostly blue gem, sat down, without showing a chink in his disposition. Kami, how's it going? This rich smell is rather unique, but it's not bad. Earl Mistral. In the private room neighboring Earl Mistral, Klein was wearing a very ordinary face as he commented. What the fuck? Klein was here too? This punishment operation was an attempt by a few members of the Tarot Club, one that didn't need the world or Mr. Fool's interference. But considering how Miss Justice and the Moon had a zero experience in such regards, he had decided to come to the area as a final safeguard. Our god is a truly kind god, you know? He decides to volunteer his free time to help his peeps. He then previously used his marionette to pray to the Fool while he entered the attached bathroom of his private room to head above the grey fog. He used the corresponding point of light and had taken the entire square into its surroundings. He then held the Sea God Scepter the entire time, prepared to deliver lightning to prevent any strikes once he discovered anything amiss. It was like, nobody hurts the star, okay? Everyone else you may have, but the star, no. You see, Klein never would have done this before Leonard joined. But apparently there was no need for him to worry. The star and Miss Justice had exceeded his expectations. A sequence 6 of the spectator pathway is far greater than low and mid-sequence beyonders of other pathways when it comes to controlling emotions. Even if she felt uneasy, she would have resolved it with her powers. Outside the window on St. Highland Square, it became filled with lively music, an eclectic mix of flute, violin, accordion, and 7-string guitar. A rental carriage was slowly circling the perimeter of the St. Highland Square. Leonard said, "Old man, what's your take regarding this outcome?" Pala Zoroast snapped back. In the fourth epoch, there's such a saying, believe in the might of deities. This means that the matter has received the tacit approval of Mr. Fool, so it's bound to succeed? But the old man doesn't know much about the Tarot Club. Mr. Fool is merely a witness, so there's no so-called tacit approval. Why does this saying feel incomplete? Leonard mumbled. Indeed, there's a second half. Do not trust their benevolence. I agree with that, but I feel like generally when stuff like this is said, it's like a foreshadowing. Is Mr. Fool gonna request something of his peeps? That is a good quote. Leonard looked down at the notebook in front of him. This is akin to a grade 1 sealed artifact. Furthermore, resolving its negative effects is so simple. Before the operation started, Leonard had planned on borrowing Creeping Hunger from the world. However, after some discussion, this magician mentioned Leimano's travel, giving him a better option. Hence Klein, who was originally responsible for the Angel's Embrace, lent him Creeping Hunger for 3 hours. Various useful powers were recorded, such as Bribe, Weaken. This is something from the Abraham family, Pala Zoroast sighed. Old man, do you have the means of weakening or controlling the negative emotions of a mystical item I previously mentioned? You call that a mystical item? That's something that needs to be sealed. Didn't you say that it has a living characteristic? That makes it pretty easy to solve. Metatronis, how's it going, man? How you doing? Fuck, I think this is the first time I've seen you here not for episode stream. What the fuck? How's it going? One of my favorite, believe in the might of deities but never trust their benevolence. It's a good quote. I don't know if I have a favorite quote yet. I will, after I'm done Lord of the Mysteries, I'll go back and I'll make like my list of like favorite quotes. I feel like that'd make a pretty cool short as well. I don't know what you're hearing, Tommy. Wait, actually, maybe. Is this what you're hearing? Hold on, let me... Is that what you're hearing? Just curious. If that is, I'll stop, okay? I get fidgety, I'm sorry. Yes? Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, never... I'm sorry. What? Just say something. Leonard felt relieved as he cast his gaze out the window again. In Phelps Street, Northborough, in the vicinity of St. Samuel Cathedral, at the entrance of the Lone Charity. After changing her clothes, Audrey got in a carriage. She had already gotten rid of her paperboy attire at a hotel room that had been prepared ahead of time. At this moment, there were people coming and going into the Bursary Foundation, and Audrey walked in with no hesitation. No one looked at her as though she lived in another world. Audrey walked through the foyer up to the second floor and headed for the director's office. Oh my god. I apologize. Whew. Audrey was about to enter the office when she heard a familiar voice. Miss Audrey, this is the amount of donations we have gathered this week. Audrey couldn't help but smile as she gently nudged the ajar door and walked in. Inside the office, a staff member was holding a stack of documents. Sitting by this desk was a golden retriever with a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. It sat at the director's seat, casually flipping through the documents and said, "That won't be an issue." Wait! Susie was putting on an illusion to be Audrey? That's adorable! Please tell me there's art of that. Please tell me there's art of that. That's so cute! What are the chances that Audrey bought the hotel? Very little. She's not that crazy. She's not Batman, you know? She's not Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. The staff member then took back the documents and smiled at the golden retriever. "Then I'll take my leave, Miss Audrey." Behind her, Audrey held back her laughter as she walked to the sofa, silently watching the staff leave without interrupting the golden retriever. Oh god. Susie seriously read the documents, afraid that something would go wrong with her acting. After a while, she looked up and said, "Audrey, are you back?" "How did you notice?" Audrey stood up from the sofa. For this operation, she specifically spoke to Susie. She got the latter to replace her at work at the foundation. Then with the golden retriever in tow, she hypnotized all the staff members who would interact with her that day, making them treat Susie as Audrey. That's adorable! I mean, not for the foundation staff who's been reporting to a dog for the past like 6 hours, but you know, all the same. As for any possible visitors, she told her staff that there would only be guests in the afternoon. And the signal to snap out of the hypnosis was the cathedral bells at 2. Susie jumped off the chair and said, "It's almost 2." That's right. Audrey inwardly made a silly face as she rushed to the small lounge and changed into her clothes. She then used Lai's flame-controlling abilities to burn her previous disguise. After returning to the office and sitting at her seat, she felt relaxed. To be frank, she had been nervous. However, she used Placate on herself. It's quite interesting now that I reminisce over it. We even discussed how we would compensate those who were affected. Well done, Audrey. After this operation, she realized that her hypnotist potion had digested significantly. Furthermore, she had confirmed one thing. The mystical item, Hand of Horror, which came with bribe, charm, worked perfectly with hypnosis. I also learned that Mr. Moon's name is Emlyn White. He didn't even bother hiding it, because he had to tell me, otherwise we couldn't have achieved our goals. Yes, just giving the name of the cathedral was enough, but that would expose his identity still. I still feel some anxiety. I was too stiff when hypnotizing. I actually used words that were too direct during the first level. The cathedral bells chimed yet again, indicating that it was 2. Many of the staff inside the Bursary Foundation found their bodies trembling after hearing it. Amidst the cathedral bells, Klein, who had transformed back into Dwayne, once again walked to his home's balcony and took in the situation of Macht's house. Suddenly, a carriage passed through the residence entrance and drove to the end of the street. Suddenly, Klein felt his spiritual perception trigger. A grey rat was leaning out the carriage's window. Amon is here. This is why you guys wanted me to... Okay, I feel like 1001, 2, and 3 could have been separate. I'm not going to lie to you. And then we could have read this today, but... Oh, are we going to have a Amon? Are we gonna do something with Amon? Yeah, let's figure this guy out. Fuck him. Kami fucked up? What did Kami do? Motherfuckers are gonna throw me under the bus. Grey rat. Klein's eyes twitched as he didn't hesitate to turn back to his room and go above the grey fog. But before this, he made his valet Inuni, who stood by the corridor, pray to the sea god call of Atua. New music? Okay. Bye, Adam. You have a good night, man. We'll find out if this is copyrighted. I have no clue. Ooh, this is eerie. I like it. This is nice. Not now? Bro, you said that! What do you mean? You said new music! Tell me that! God damn it. Okay. Okay. Using the corresponding point of light, he beckoned the sea god scepter and began expanding his vision. Near the end of the chapter when you read, but this only seemed to sink into the vast ocean. Okay, sounds good. He then locked onto the carriage, driving towards Macht's house. At this time, the person leaning against the glass window and leisurely taking the scenery was no longer a grey rat, but a young man. He was none other than the angel of time, Amon. Although Klein was prepared, his anxiety made his body feel chilly. Amon had clearly appeared in his original form, but after stealing the rat demigod's destiny, he appeared as a rat in everyone's eyes. He and his brother, Adam, had powers that were similar. It left terror in the mind of others. If not for the grey fog and for my deeper control of this place, I wouldn't have discovered it either. Yeah, what were you saying about you not fucking up, Nakami? What's up? Say that. Say it again, motherfucker. Okay. Compared to the grafting of destiny, the signs of parasitizing were a lot clearer. However, Klein didn't notice anything this time. Be it the other passengers in the carriage, the horses that moved in tow, or the surrounding trees, there was no signs of parasitizing. This is different from what Leonard's grandpa said. Yeah, fair, yeah. Shouldn't the appearance of one Amon mean the accompaniment of many others? He is aware that he was discovered by a bizarro sorcerer of the Evernight, and he suspects that Balkan Street is under surveillance. Therefore, he only sent a single avatar to investigate? Of course, he recalled Pala Zoroast mentioning that as long as one avatar was resolved, he could eliminate all of Amons in Balkan Street. And now there's only one in Balkan Street, a perfect time to take action. I'll first hear what the expert opinion is. Klein conjured the world's figure at the other end of the table and made him pray. Mr. Fool, please inform Leonard Mitchell that Amon has appeared at 39 Balkan Street, but there's only one. While Gehrman made the prayer, Klein didn't stop monitoring the carriage. He saw Hazel alight from the carriage. Amon, wearing the monocle and the black trench coat, walked behind her with complete composure. Despite not having any concealment, the servants didn't notice him at all. Occasionally... So wait, has he parasitized Hazel? Is that what's happening? Or has he... He hasn't taken over her fate. Has he? Occasionally, the female servants would look to the ground and jump in fright. Just as they were about to scream, they would forget what happened. Amon passed through the foyer and walked up the stairs, pinching his crystal monocle. Amon stuffed his hands into his pocket. It is the gray rat. Oh, sorry. I thought it meant like he was physically behind her, but okay, it was a gray rat that was in the carriage somehow. Oh, well, I guess Hazel thinks she's bringing her teacher home, so that makes sense. Ringed transparent worms began squirming out of his body as they crawled in every direction. This left Klein's scalp tingling. He recalled Pala Zoroast's description of parasitizing power, a plague-like infection. Hazel had been in an excellent mood recently. This was because her teacher hadn't gone mad. Everything that happened previously was only a test, and she had passed it with flying colors. She was currently a Sequence 7 Beyonder. So the world actually has a magical side to it. I wonder when I'll be able to become a demigod and shake off my mortal coil. Damn, I don't think that's in the cards for you, girlie. Upon thinking that, she glanced over to her teacher, who was sprawled in the leather cushion. The grey rat had raised its front paw and pressed its right eye. "Do you need any food?" Hazel asked. "There's no need." "All right, teacher." Hazel walked forward, opening the door to her bedroom. Her lady maid was standing outside. Hazel said, "Guard this place. Don't let anyone in." "Yes, miss." Only then did Hazel leave her bedroom and head for the activity room on the second floor. She found her mother, Ma'am Rihanna. This lady, with the same black-green hair, received a pair of gem-embedded glasses with a golden chain hanging from it from her lady maid. It was more an accessory than an eye correction tool. Gem-embedded glasses with a gold chain. Is that like the thing Amon is wearing? But, I mean, these are glasses, not a monocle. "Don't tell me you don't like it," Hazel asked. "I like it now," Ma'am Rihanna's mouth curled up. Has Amon parasitized her entire family? Just as she said that, she wore the glasses. As Hazel was about to say something, she heard footsteps approaching. "Wrongs, how's it going, man?" She turned her head to find her father coming home early. "Father, didn't you say you'd be at the veterans' mess?" Hazel asked. "There wasn't anyone there today." Mock raised his right hand and pitched the side of his eyes. "Perfect! We haven't had high tea in so long," Hazel thought. "That's right," Mock and Ma'am Rihanna laughed at the same time. I feel like Amon took over her mom and dad. Bro, this fucking child is an orphan without even knowing it. At 7 Pinster Street, Leonard, who had just returned from the cathedral, threw himself onto the sofa. Having not received any information, he believed that the punishment operation came to a perfect end. Old man, didn't you say that the Viscount had many mystical items on him? Can you tell me what they are? Items of that level aren't worth my notice. Ugh, Leonard was about to press further when he saw the grey fog in his eyes. Amon appeared at 39 Bachman Street, but there's only one, he heard in the prayer. Amon appeared? That quickly? Old man, what do we do now? Begin the operation? But there's only one Amon. If there's only one avatar, that means he has other motives, but none of it matters. In the 4th epoch, there's a saying, there's no point crying over spilled milk. Once it has begun, we can't falter. Can't? Am I fucking English? What the fuck? We can't falter. If we can't delay this any further. Amon will attempt to influence the entire street. When that happens, he will discover Dwayne's abnormality. Immanuel Kant. Klein returned to the real world and walked out of the bathroom. He had already made preparations. He had creeping hunger in his left palm and an emblem carved from obsidian in his right. Then he heard Inuni snap his fingers and use Flaming Jump to enter 39 Bachman Street with the appearance of Gearman. Controls of his spirit body threads were instantly transferred to Klein, but this only seemed to sink into the vast ocean without any reaction. He had lost control of his marionette? What? Klein's eyes twitched as he heard the door to the master bedroom open. It was Inuni. Amon took him over and teleported him back instantly? He said, nah, bitch. Whose house you think this is? This youth had opened up the door and walked in, completely outside of Klein's control. He then took out a crystal monocle from his pocket, rubbed it with his sleeve, and wore it on his right eye. He then looked up at Dwayne, smiling. Found you. Flora Jacobs' destiny was filled with too many abnormalities, and they mainly came from this street. This piqued my interest, and I spent some time to distinguish and seek out the source. It took me a while to find you. I'm no stranger to this mirror, and I can control it, but I've never seen it integrate itself so much towards one person. This is interesting. Maybe I should steal your destiny and find out why. You probably don't know why, right? It's not simple. When he says this mirror, he's referring to Erides, which means Erides responds to Amon, which means he probably responds to Adam too. Does Klein have something to do with ASG? Fourth movement. There it has got. Oh god, sorry, that's not funny. I mean, a little bit. Wearing his monocle, Amon, who wore the appearance of a Noonie, didn't seem like an infiltrator or an assailant. He appeared like a visitor. He had done all his preparations, as well as Erides's origins. He paused before he could finish his sentence. Dwayne opposite him had turned into a dirty grey rat. The rat raised its right paw, pressing its eye. What? At the same time, in the garden of 160 Balkan Street, Gearman Sparrow appeared in the middle of roses. Back when Amon had said something highly enticing, he had secretly split off a worm of time in an attempt to invade Klein's body to parasitize him. But Klein was on high alert the entire time. He detected this attempt via the changes in his spirit body threads, so he created a marionette at a critical moment and swapped locations. Silently, Amon, who looked like a mixed-blood youth, appeared in front of Klein. Behind him, a 12-ringed transparent worm fell from the third story and returned to his body. At that instant, the two earthworms in the garden soil, the insects in the woods, and the rats in the shadows were all crawled out, either swarming towards Gearman or Amon, or fleeing from this region. The main reason why Klein had so patiently listened to Amon was to create marionettes. To Bizarro Sorcerer, they were only complete with their marionettes. Amon still wasn't in a rush to take action. He pinched his monocle and looked around with a smile. Your actions expose your weakness. To a master of deceit, everything you did was enough time for me to see your weakness. In such a tense and dangerous situation, you chose to convert rats, insects, and birds into marionettes without considering your servants. What does this tell me? It tells me you have morals. You still think of yourself as human, unwilling to harm them. Upon grasping this point, even if my avatar is inferior to you, it'll be easy to break you. You wouldn't even be capable of dying, even if you wished for it. Oh man, for how cool Amon has been, he's gonna hit me with the, your weakness is that you care too much, bro? Come on, bro, you were cooler before this, be better. Alright, you can stop your attempts at controlling my spirit body threads. This is because you're controlling the threads I stole. They belong to your butler, your maid, your coachman. If this continues, I'm afraid you'll feel sad. He stole spirit body threads? No, it's more like grafting. Klein's expression froze. He had been patient, allowing Amon to drone on with his drivel, mainly doing so because he was trying to turn Amon's avatar into a marionette. To a Bizarro Sorcerer, battles like this, where he stalled for time, should have been something he was best at, but he had encountered Amon, the pinnacle existence of the Marauder pathway. Even if he was only facing an avatar, he could do nothing. Oh. Is Klein gonna have his second death right now? Klein suspected that Amon's words were a ruse, but he couldn't see through it. He needed the help of a spectator right now. For you to say so much, I doubt it solely because you think of the means to parasitize me. You should know, even before injuring me, it's hard to parasitize a Bizarro Sorcerer who can see spirit body threads. Klein calmly replied, You finally noticed it. You're trying to steal my destiny? Klein swapped locations with a marionette yet again, constantly making his body appear in different corners of the garden. No. Amon shook his head, keeping his hands in his pocket. If a magic mirror like Eridas is willing to listen to you and integrate and ingratiate itself towards you, it means you aren't simple. I'm not a beyonder of the tyrant pathway, so I wouldn't be so rash. I have a feeling that directly replacing you would result in something I don't want happening. Does Amon not want his dad back? I don't know. I'm basing my theories on something else. I'm thinking like maybe if ASG is trying to take root in Klein's body, but Amon, the pinnacle existence of a Marauder pathway, takes him over, ASG instantly reincarnates because he has a body strong enough. And he just and he's like, thank you, son, and just kills Amon. He's like, all right, back to killing gods, baby. How did you know Amon is ingratiating itself? Flora Jacob's destiny shouldn't have something like that. Klein appeared on a tree. Amon pulled out his hand and pinched his chin. Didn't I say why? I spent time gathering some information and seeking out sources. Oh, I went to the Church of Steam and Machinery and had a chat with Eridus. Well, it wasn't too frank, and it was willing to be tortured instead of reveal your origins. Unfortunately, that was inside the Church of Steam. Otherwise, I would have just directly parasitized it and learned everything. He can parasitize living artifacts? Based on his answers, he's not sure of my situation. Klein's eyes widened just as he was about to say something. Amon laughed. You don't seem to be in a hurry. What are you waiting for? Do you not know that my pathway sequence 2's name is Trojan Horse of Destiny? Although I'm only an ordinary avatar, I do have some powers that I can use, such as tinkering with your destiny, making certain errors happen for a time. For instance, no one will notice it no matter how much you cry out for help. Trojan Horse of Destiny. Okay, what the fuck? That's such an interesting name. That also means even if I were to trigger the Evernight emblem in your hand, you would only be able to get the effects of concealment. You can't ask for help. Even if you were to shout or help or create an explosion, no one would hear a thing. This is the reason why I'm talking so much. For an ordinary avatar, things take time. Alright, it's your turn to answer my question. Klein didn't answer as he kept switching positions. However, Amon kept appearing right in front of his marionettes as they continued their conversation. Even though he isn't running away, Amon is like, bitch, just to show you ain't going fucking nowhere, I'll just keep teleporting with you, just to show you, like, hey, you're slow as fuck, buddy. At this moment, he made a marionette ask, since you're already completing the controlling of destiny, why aren't you taking action? I closed Discord to come. It won't happen again. You seem to be waiting. Before this, Gearman, who had a thin paper figurine, could finish a sentence. There was a strong gust of wind. Leonard flew to Bachland Street. This is what I was waiting for, Klein said. At that moment, he triggered the Evernight emblem that he had been clasping tightly, simultaneously snapping his left hand's fingers, igniting the tallest tree in the garden, making its flames soar into the sky. And this huge, obvious bonfire would be noticeable at a glance across the street. Even in midair, Leonard Mitchell ignored the steam rushing for 39 Bachland Street. At this moment, Pala Zoroast said, "Turn back, head to Unit 160. Oh wow, Leonard couldn't even see it right up until Amon said... right up until Pala Zoroast, because Pala Zoroast is probably like a decently immune to whatever the fuck Amon is doing. But Leonard couldn't even see a giant bonfire. He was like, nope, 39 Bachland Street, that's what they said. Amon just stealing the distance between... Oh, that's so clever. He just... Oh, clever. Man, his power is so broken. I'll steal the air out of your lungs. I'll steal the distance between them. I'll steal the... Couldn't he just be like, hey, I'm going to steal the fucking hemoglobin in your blood cells, and then you just immediately die? I know, you guys are going to be like, what? You think a demigod needs blood cells to live, or some bullshit? Oh my god, you know what he... Amon could be like fucking Magneto. He could be like, I'm gonna steal all the iron in your fucking blood, and he just... Although Leonard was puzzled, he didn't bother asking why. He immediately switched his directions. In the garden of 160 Balkan Street, Amon raised his head as he pressed his crystal monocle in his right hand. That's also what I've been waiting for. To discover the abnormalities of fate in this region. It's him, Palez. As he spoke, this blasphemer changed his actions and adjusted his monocle. He was expecting this? It's a reverse jumping! Guys, run away! He knows! At this moment, a strange gloom overfell the entire street. In the activity room in 39 Balkan Street, Hazel looked out the window. Is it about to rain? This wasn't anything important, so she retracted her gaze and reached out her hand onto a 3-layer tray. Abort mission, guys, run! This is like, you know, this is like what I assume this is what I assume people feel like in like Marvel movies when like someone shoots like Wolverine point blank and he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you think?" And Wolverine just like spits the bullet out and you're like, "Abort mission! I didn't know the fuck. I don't want the smoke." She then saw her father, mocked, strangely open up his right palm. Glimmers of light condensed into thin air, forming a crystal monocle in his palm. Mock then wore the monocle on his right eye. Hazel had already sensed something amiss as she frantically looked at everyone else. Her mother took off accessories on her nose and wore a monocle that she had taken out. The servants beside her also took out monocles. Everyone looked at Hazel, smiling bit by bit. Hazel broke down as she let out a shrill cry. This scream passed through the house and through the garden, attracting the attention of the pedestrians on the street. Amon had already lowered his right hand from his monocle. Looking at the figure in midair, he said with a smile, "Palez, it's already 1350 of the 5th epoch. The technique of relying on avatars to raise one's level is so outdated." He said, "Bitch, you old. Get it together." Behind him, Klein didn't waste any time as he reached into his pocket as though he was drawing a gun while he made creeping hunger turn transparent. A book condensed in front of him. However, Amon simply raised his hand and the glove vanished. Did he just steal creeping hunger like it was a fucking joke? He went, and it's gone? However, along with the human skin glove's disappearance, Gearman also did. Landing in Amon's palm wasn't a glove but a rat that had died. Oh, thank God. On the other side of Amon, Klein, who wasn't wearing a hat but wearing a shirt and vest, appeared. He then threw out the item he had previously taken out and threw it at the target. It was a paper crane. Wrongs. I'm sorry, bro. You just read through this and you went, I knew it, expected. That's how you were reading this? Fuck you. Finale and ending. Whoa. Okay, so then we can end on 10,006. 1006. Bro, Palaz Zoroast is dying. For sure. It was an ordinary paper crane bursting into a scarlet flame as it flew out. Amon, who had been looking up into the sky, turned his head and looked at the paper crane, who was a vessel of flames. He then raised his palm again. A cold glint had lit up in his eyes beneath the monocle. Suddenly, the flames on the paper crane vanished. Klein and his ability to swap positions with his marionette vanished. Likewise for flame controlling, flame jump, and air cannons. Suddenly, the flames on the paper... nope. In that instant, he had 6 Beyonder powers stolen, 4 of which were important. Oh, he's cooked. He's dying. Here. If Amon was to make a few more thefts, Klein might turn into an ordinary person. This was a theft at the angel level. Bro, can you even steal the love your mom has for you? Nah. It's too... Nah, he wouldn't be able to do that. He can't steal infinity. Love you, Mom. This was theft at the angel level. Amidst the extinguishing flames, the paper crane floated. Backland, Dr. Aaron's house. Wrapped in a silver silk, Will Ossipton rubbed his mouth and grunted. Ugh, life is so hard. Before he finished his sentence, he took out what looked like a cane from somewhere. Embedded in it were clear gems. Pure bright light lit up, illuminating the calendar in the room clearly. Today was Tuesday. "160 Bachman Street, inside Dwayne's garden. The paper crane, which was already charred and incomplete, suddenly froze in midair. Complicated chrome color symbols appeared out of it, instantly taking on the form of huge, illusory, scaleless snake. The dense patterns and symbols on the surface of the snake formed a wheel that connected to each other. Around each wheel were different symbols. With a sweep of its cold, bright eyes, the serpent soared into the sky and stayed above Bachman Street. It curled its body and bit its own tail. Its shadow blanketed the entire street like a mysterious and ludicrous wheel. Not just 3 angels, DSV, 3 sequence of 1s. Not even like grounded angels, which is at least what some people say are sequence 2s. No. Angels. Flying angels, bro. A baby. Strong baby, bro. Suddenly, mocked Rihanna and several servants in 39 Bachman Street wiped the smiles from their surface, raised their hands in unison, taking off the monocles, allowing the monocles to turn incorporeal in their hands, before transforming into beams of light. Archangels? Okay. Immediately following that, they wore their eye accessories once again, pinched their eye sockets, either leisurely looking out the window or returning to their formal states. Will Ossipton! The GOAT! At max, yeah, Nagito. Yeah, you're right, at max. Hazel stood on the ground watching the scene. As she shook her head, she felt the world crumbling around her. The cold glimmer in Winner Inuni's eyes vanished. The crystalline monocle was left cooked, and he no longer wore that supercilious look. In addition, something in his body seemed to be extracted as a clear, thick, but transparent worm of time took form above his head. Amidst the concealment, this worm of time quickly transformed into a figure with black hair, black eyes. This wasn't time reversing itself, because Klein and Leonard didn't suffer any of its effects. It was Amon, having his condition return a few minutes prior. Snake of Fate. Reboot! It's rewind time, as Will Smith would say. Oh my god, that actually works. I didn't realize it until I said Will, but that's funny. Although Will Ossipton had predicted that there would be some changes in fate, things happened slightly later. However, his influence that descended from afar came in such a timely fashion. In order to gain the Snake of Fate's help, Klein not only fed him 5 different flavors of ice cream, but it also agreed to further compensation. The outcome of the negotiation was that Klein had to think of means to create at least 2 items that could allow Will to briefly regain some of his strength while in his weakened state. We just had the whole thing, yeah. While Amon suffered this unexpected blow, Klein didn't hesitate and drew Death Knell, cocked it, and pushed the cylinder. He steadily and decisively pulled Death Knell's trigger, shooting out a controlled spirit bullet he had prepared. A black stream of light flashed, striking the illusory Amon figure with a sharp bonnet and classic black robe. The light scattered as Amon's figure quivered in midair and froze without being able to wear any expression. At this moment, Leonard, who had already arrived overhead, followed the old man's instructions, standing on a word of the sea, floating in midair. He slightly spread out his arms and relaxed his spirit body. Both his green eyes immediately reflected a slightly gloomy 12-ringed transparent worm of time in each of them. These two worms of time had their heads and tails connected, forming a similar loop. The loop slowly spun, projecting a huge, ancient modeled illusion behind Leonard. What is he up to? Bro, you didn't do shit! This illusion looked like the surface of a wall clock carved from stone. There were 12 segments, each either grayish white or bluish black. They were clearly demarcated from each other, and the symbols were all different. With just one look, Klein had the feeling that life was speeding past him. A bell gong that seemed to travel across time from ancient history resounded. Everything before seemed to slow down, including Amon's figure above Inuni. An indescribable, invisible surge appeared, sweeping around that Amon figure before hurling it towards that huge, illusory stone carved wall clock. Fuck me, there's so many long words or like compound words here. What the fuck? What was actually a worm of time? Amon's avatar with a monocle suddenly extended its hand, pointing it at Gehrman. Suddenly, Klein saw the skin on the back of his hand rapidly dry up as they wrinkled, producing unobvious age spots. The speed at which Amon's illusory figure was being pulled away slowed down, but the process couldn't be interrupted. Finally, it contracted into the form of a ringed worm and was thrown towards the illusory, ancient, stone-carved wall clock behind Leonard. Another bell sounded as the grayish-white, bluish-black clock's surface had an additional mottled hand. This hand quickly rotated a few segments, speeding up the sound of the gongs. Inside 39 Bauckland Street and 160 Bauckland Street, all kinds of resplendent glitters flew out, pulled and attracted by that ancient wall clock. Law of Beyonder characteristics convergence. He had used the connection between the avatars and his higher level to strengthen the Law of Beyonder characteristics convergence. So basically, in this moment, Palace Zoroas became like a black hole for all the worms of time in Backland. Is that fair? How he did it? I don't know, someone's gonna have to explain it. Several streams of light from different spots in Backland flew over. After everything calmed down, Klein's current appearance in his mind appeared. He had more white hair than black. His forehead and the corners of his mouth and eyes were covered with obvious wrinkles. His skin sagged with several age spots. He looked like an elderly gentleman ready to pass away at a moment's notice. At this moment, the wall clock's gonging sounded again. The grayish-white hand on the ancient illusory stone-carved wall clock began spinning counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3. Klein's skin rapidly recovered. In just seconds, he recovered his original appearance. Powers at the angel level are godlike. I only suffered some repercussions and I nearly died of old age. How should the people parasitized by Amon be rescued? Klein looked up at Leonard. At this moment, the wall clock behind Leonard rapidly faded, turning into glimmers of light. After a while, he said, the Beyonder characteristics of the worm of time in them have been sucked out. The remaining part of them have either been resorbed or have some remnants left over. However, it wouldn't result in them having excess influence. The old man says it won't be excessive, but it can be, but it might be from the viewpoint of an angel. In short, they can pray to the deities they believe in and see if they can obtain a complete purification. However, without them explaining what happened, the deities might not give a response. If you're afraid of remnant effects, you can consider guiding them to pray to that existence. All the items that come from that will be yours. I assume when he says that existence, he means the Fool. Perhaps having personally experienced a battle at an angel level, he felt the Snake of Fate's spectral form. Leonard's agitation and trembling could hardly be suppressed. He then asked in passing, will there be any side effects after a complete purification? A little, Leonard said. It's at a deeper level of parasitizing. Even if ordinary people were to experience a full recovery, there will be some level of influence. such as them liking to wear monocles. God, that is the... Bro, Amon could have left them with the urge to kill people, and it would be less destructive to like society as a whole than like, you know, dozens or hundreds of people wanting to wear monocles for no reason. All right, head back. Leave the rest to me, Klein nodded, and was glad that the parties involved in this battle weren't the kind with obvious destructive might. Otherwise, it might not only be Bachman Street, but all of Northborough. In Pritz Harbor, a black-haired, black-eyed, thin-faced young man wearing a monocle rode a bicycle as he leisurely returned home. He wore an obvious smile as he opened a letterbox and took out a newspaper. After entering the house, this young man pinched his monocle in his right eye while tearing open letters, reading their contents as he walked in. If all connection to us is lost, that means Pala Zoroast might be hidden in the vicinity of Northborough, Bachman Street. Don't ask us why we're taking such risks. Life often requires some excitement, joy, and anticipation. Who the fuck gave this to him? Who gave this to Amon? Cause that person just fucked Leonard. Who? Username. I didn't miss shit, motherfucker. 26 lines, that's how many lines you read as it's written out. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you read and do you, do you write and do you read and do you talk the same way? Fuck no. Amon's avatar left a message to other? But how? They all died. How did this end up fucking... Are you telling me while they were dying, they were like writing letters and sending it through the post office? What the fuck? Amon calculated for that beforehand? He was like, okay, well, there's like a chance, a small chance, but like a chance that we fucking all die. If, oh shit, if, oh god damn, he's a clever little fucker, bro. He's a clever little fucker. Let me change the title. Yeah, Livian, I tend to it also depends on per stream, so I don't take out anything of relative value because I skim through everything as I'm reading it. I just don't say all of it out loud, Livian. But it also depends on how I'm feeling. Like, generally, if I'm streaming, like, in the morning, I feel good, I feel well rested, I'll read the entire chapter verbatim. But, like, at night, after work, a little bit tired, I'll simplify stuff, let's call it. Okay. On 160 Bachman Street, after watching Leonard fly out of the world of concealment with his word of sea in one hand, Klein turned his attention back to his surroundings. No, Khaled, we'll reach it. It's all good. Although, Adam did say I should leave it at 1009. I don't know if it's because, he's doing it because all you fuckers want me to go to 1010 because there's some massive, cliffhanger there. I don't know. And Adam's the only nice one who wants to warn me. I don't know. He first observed Winner Inuni. He had imagined that he couldn't see his marionette that had been parasitized by Amon, but to his surprise, he realized he could control his spirit body threads again. Klein was stunned before he came to a realization. Fuck you, Justin. When Snake of Fate Will Ossipton used our reboot to reverse Amon's condition, it also made the things he parasitized experience similar changes. Hence, Inuni became his marionette, as expected of the strongest power of a monster pathway sequence 1. Klein then teleported back to his master bedroom, leaving a bunch of marionettes around to defend against any accidents. Right on the heels of that, Klein entered the bathroom and headed above the grey fog. He then used Inuni's prayer light and observed the entire street. Without a doubt, his focus was on the residence of Member of Parliament Macht's house. Housekeeper Taneha, Member of Parliament Macht, Ma'am Rihanna, and many servants had remnant signs of being parasitized. They were in a daze. As for Hazel, she was on the brink of total collapse. Her hands were shaking. She had pushed herself into a corner, her back leaning close to the wall, huddling into a ball, trembling. Macht and company noticed something wrong with her. They surrounded her in concern. However, Hazel would scream loudly whenever they attempted to approach. All they could do was stand away and look panicked. It took 3 Sequence 1 Angels to defeat the Sequence 2 Amon Avatar. Goated and woaded, and all I'm saying is if Adam was here, they'd all die. All that would happen would be like, there'd be a fucking newspaper tomorrow headline that says, Southern Continent tycoon Dwayne Dantas suddenly gone missing. Nothing else. Nothing's, not a hair has even moved. Just nothing. What the fuck? Oh my god. No, I'm not reading that, bro. Klein felt horrified when he saw this scene. He imagined a scene. I'm not gonna say this because you guys are gonna clip me again. You guys are bitches, by the way. Because I'm not reading this, but like, that's a crazy sentence this motherfucker wants me to read, bro. Amon as the entire family of Hazel trying to soothe her nerves, but they were helpless. If Hazel were to hold out and not lose control, she would definitely develop mental troubles. At the very least, she'd be half crazy. Klein then returned to the real world. Balkan Street and the several streets remained enshrouded in darkness. This was a world that had turned into a secret. Klein took down a hat, wore it on his head, and teleported to a director's office in the Bursary Foundation. What the fuck? No balls. Ariana didn't do anything. What did Ariana do? What? Audrey had already changed into a light green dress and was daydreaming with a fountain pen in hand, reminiscing over every detail of the punishment operation. Susie, on the other hand, had gone for a stroll. Hey, you know what? Susie deserves a stroll. She had been fucking overlooking financial statements all day, okay? She's just a dog, you coward. Yeah, Palas and Will still very weakened as well. Nah, true. She concealed the fight and fate. She wasn't there, so pretty sure the plan could have at least have a chance by concealing their... Oh, okay. She concealed the fight and fate so Amon's real body can't find them back. Yeah, but Amon's real body got all he needed. Suddenly, this lady looked up. In front of her, standing, was Gehrman Sparrow. Unhinged. How's it going, man? Although she had never met him before, she had seen his lifelike picture on the newspaper and wanted posters. Klein hadn't realized that he hadn't changed back to Dwayne Dantas, based on Miss Justice's reaction. But he didn't care. He released his hand from his top hat and said, "There's something that requires your help." His disguise had also been stolen by Amon, but after a reboot it was returned to him. He just didn't have the time to change back. "No problem," Audrey said. Klein then didn't waste any time, grabbed her by the arm, and their figures faded away, instantly appearing outside 39 Balkan Street. This is teleportation? Audrey's eyes suddenly turned slightly as she instinctively wanted to say something, but when she felt the heavy atmosphere and the screams, her face immediately wore a solemn look. "Unhinged! That's awesome, man. Are you guys having a party or something?" "There's a patient?" she asked. It's so easy to talk to a spectator. There's no need to explain a thing. Yes, she has encountered a supernatural incident and suffered a terrible fright, on the brink of losing control. Do you have the means to not be seen by the people inside? There was no need for him to say his last sentence, as a large-scale illusion was enough to resolve the problem. Furthermore, after receiving the blessings of concealment, ordinary people likely didn't retain much of their memories. However, after witnessing Adam's power of invisibility, Klein was rather curious if Miss Justice had such skills. Yes, Audrey replied. As she spoke, she glanced at Gehrman, who reached out for the handle and pushed open the door. Member of Parliament mocked that Ma'am Rihanna completely ignored this beautiful girl as they discussed, in a state of panic about hiring a doctor. Hazel remained there in a corner, shivering like a baby. Miss Hazel. As a senior spectator, Audrey didn't have the problem of forgetting others. She observed Hazel's condition and frowned. She then turned to Gehrman. Mr. Sparrow, can you briefly explain what she encountered? Only with sufficient knowledge can I help her. She's a Beyonder of the Marauder pathway, a student of a demigod who had nefarious thoughts. Her teacher attracted Amon's avatar and ended up getting himself killed. Her destiny and identity were stolen. If I'm Audrey, I'm just like, sir, I'm a sequence 6. Stuff to do with Amon, not the person. Get another guy. Ain't me. I'm out. Bye, guys. As such, Amon infiltrated her family, parasitized her parents and servants. Just now, while we were eliminating Amon's avatar, she realized that her parents and servants were all Amon. She didn't know that, but she understood that it was a strange she didn't know that it was Amon, but she understood it was a strange existence. If you have anything you wish to understand at a deeper level, things which do not involve psychological treatment, ask during the next gathering. Audrey was shocked as she instinctively turned to look at Mockth and company. She could imagine that they had been parasitized by Amon. To have everyone parasitized, Audrey recalled Mr. World's words and felt even more afraid as she thought about it. Is the supernatural world always this cruel and terrifying, or just occasionally? Audrey muttered. She knew the answer. She didn't wait for Gehrman's reply, because from what she had seen at the tarot gathering, she knew. Always. Looking back at Hazel, Audrey walked over, filled with pity, and crouched down and first used placate. Hazel looked up blankly and saw a perfect, flawless face. At that moment, she wanted to return to the ball of the previous night, having witnessed this lady descend like an angel. She instantly calmed down. She saw the ripples rise up in the pair of limpid green eyes. They were serene, calm, and deep. There's no need to be afraid. Calm down. Everything is over. Audrey used hypnosis to communicate with Hazel's body of heart and mind. She heard hysterical screams and horrors taller than mountains and deeper than oceans. Taking into account Hazel's condition and encounter, she came up with a plan for treatment. She directly hypnotized Hazel and made her forget today's encounter. She was only vaguely capable of remembering her identity as a Beyonder and had forgotten the existence of her teacher. Hazel gradually calmed down before falling asleep. After you awake, that terrible experience will no longer exist, and I was never here. Audrey used a gentle voice to complete the last step of the hypnosis. Following that, she got up. She then turned her head. I made her temporarily forget the memories, but those memories remain, just deep inside. In future gatherings, I'll continue treatment, guiding her slowly to remember and accept this memory. Only then can her mental state be completely fixed. Otherwise, perhaps a familiar action or sentence will jolt her. She'll then break down again, perhaps resulting in a direct loss of control. She's becoming so professional, Klein sighed. Then you have to hypnotize all the people who are parasitized. They are not to show any hobbies that don't normally belong to them, like the wearing of monocles. Also, let them pray to the Evernight Goddess after about 15 minutes to receive complete cleansing and purification. No problem, Audrey nodded. Klein immediately stood to the side, watching this lady cue everyone who had been parasitized. 10:08. I will say we're making incredible timing today. This is, I mean, partially the reason we're doing so is because of what username keeps talking about, how I'm kind of paraphrasing the sentences and stuff, but we're like 40 minutes out of schedule right now. I'm not skipping paragraphs, I'm skipping sentences. The fact that paragraphs are made up of sentences is not my fault. If you really think about it, I'm just skipping individual characters. Just a couple dozen at a time, you know? Maybe hundreds. Should look at DMs. What did you send? Oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that. Do you now understand Amon's terror and why his main body is banned from all capitals? Because he could just... Okay, because if Amon was probably there in person, he could probably take over an entire... Like, Amon might be able to become every person in Backland. If his main body was there, and none of the Beyonders who were in Backland escaped or moved around or whatever, he could probably take over everyone in Backland. No worries, Milos. I appreciate you popping by, man. How you doing? Amon is terrifying, bro. I'm terrified too, username. Yes, you're right. Minutes later, Klein, with the face of Gehrman, walked out of 39 Balkan Street with Audrey and headed for the other places where the other parasite victims were. Klein looked ahead and said, "It's not rare to see such matters happen among unaffiliated Beyonders. Without any guidance, it often implies they're constantly dancing at the edge of a cliff with the possibility of falling at any moment." I know, compared to before, I'm not as naive. If I had known that the mysterious world was so cruel and terrifying, I might not have raised the request of becoming a Beyonder last June. Klein turned his head and said, "If I were to give you the chance now to completely leave this world behind, would you take it?" "No," Audrey replied. After giving such a response, she relaxed a little and smiled. Under the premise of knowing how cruel and terrifying the world is, the me from last June would have given up being a Beyonder, but the me of this year wouldn't. Maybe that's the price of growing up. Bug, how's it going, man? How you doing? I understand what you're getting at, Klein continued. After those victims are purified, a number of them will spit out worms of time. They can be used to create fate siphon charms, a demigod level item that can switch the fate between two parties for a short time. When the time comes, I'll give you one as payment for today's treatment. Audrey was about to decline before she fell silent and nodded. Okay. Actually, I can just go to regular music now, I assume? Can I go to regular music now? Kami? Bug, you can always rewind, man. Feel free. Yeah, alright, thank you. Bug, you Jan Copman your way here. Just as she said that, she paused and turned her head at Gehrman. I know why you just asked me that question. Klein chuckled without giving a direct response. Audrey retracted her gaze and felt a lot better. She asked as though they were having a chat. I participated in a punishment operation at noon. In the punishment operation at noon, and I dealt with the Amon aftermath in the afternoon. Today really is a tarot day. Her words were a double entendre, said with the utmost wistfulness. From her point of view, noon was a cooperative operation that involved 5 members. In the afternoon, the Terror Club, the World, and Justice had involved themselves in the elimination of Amon's avatar in different ways. This was indeed a day to remember. In a sense, it was considered a tarot day. Klein nodded in agreement. And by the way, why did Audrey say, I know why you asked me that? What does that mean? Klein nodded in agreement at Miss Justice's words, but he didn't tell her that the Star had also been involved in the afternoon operation. Amon's avatar must have been hard to deal with, right? Audrey said. She stared at Gehrman, making no attempt to hide the curiosity in her eyes. Klein smiled. If I had done it alone, he wouldn't be seeing Gehrman here, but Amon. Having your destiny and identity stolen? Audrey asked. We'll discuss the specifics in the future. In short, to eliminate all of Amon's avatar and background this time, we mobilized angels. If you were to encounter Amon's avatars in the future, never believe you have the means to handle him alone. Find an opportunity to seek help. Yes, his trait is the wearing of monocles, and he enjoys pulling off harrowing pranks. She assures Klein that she's okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Angels were mobilized. I wonder if that death console or the angel of the fate domain or... Audrey looked up at the sky and saw the clouds frozen in midair. They looked like props from under a dark background. She nodded. I'll keep that in mind. The two continued walking, occasionally silent, occasionally breaking into a conversation until they entered 160 Bauckland Street. I know, right? They're like, special grade inbound, Romero. After a few minutes, inside the activity room of Hazel's house, Mocht and company suddenly had the strong urge to sit in their seats, raise their hands, and pray to the Evernight goddess. After an unknown period of time, they coughed in unison, until their ears and snot flowed out. Without realizing it, they separately coughed out worms. These worms fell to the ground and vanished without getting any notice. Similar things happened all across Bauckland Street, but everything eventually returned to normal, and the darkness faded away at some time. Amidst her parents' coughings, Hazel slowly woke up. She was puzzled to how she fell asleep on the sofa. She felt that she should have been in a great mood, but just couldn't bring herself to smile. It was as though she had indescribable sadness and pain in her heart. Upon seeing her parents' gaze landing on her, not only wasn't she touched, she felt fearful, trembling like an introvert who wasn't accustomed to making contact with others. However, she didn't find it weird or puzzling as she continued enjoying the high tea pastries. Mocht and Rihanna felt the same. They had a nagging feeling something was off, but they just couldn't figure out what. 160 Bauckland Street, in the master bedroom, a figure suddenly outlined itself across the coffee table. It was the barefooted Ariana. Bro, can the Evernight goddess not afford to give her greatest warrior a fucking pair of shoes? Can we not afford that? Do you understand why Amon is the absolute GOAT? I understand why Adam's the absolute GOAT, Nagato. Bitch. This is like, oh god. No, it's fine. Okay. She was wearing a Spartan robe with tree bark as her belt. The barefeeder wore... Shut the fuck up. How is my entire chat filled with... Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought Eric was saying hell yeah to the bare feet. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Hideo, could you... Yeah, exactly, I know. That was going to be the joke I was going to make. On the coffee table in front of the lady's eyes were 9 transparent ringed worms. Good afternoon, Ma'am Ariana. Thanks to your help, Amon's avatar and background were eliminated. You can choose a portion at the spoils of war. Having previously prepared a marionette beside every person who had been parasitized, he used an illusion to bring back these worms of time. I believe our greatest warrior is the Pope? Nah. You think the greatest warrior is he who stands in the light? No. The greatest warrior is he who stands in the darkness behind the greatest light. I don't even know what that means, honestly. I'm just saying words at this point. Upon hearing him, Ariana tapped her chest in a clockwise fashion and said, "Praise the lady." Alright, bye, Kami. She didn't decline the offer or stand on ceremony. She reached out her hand, and 2 worms of time flew up to her hands. Trump is the greatest warrior. Shut the fuck. Hey there, shut the fuck up. Trump is the. Yeah. In an essence, hey there is right. Trump is the greatest warrior of like Russia or like America's greatest enemies, whoever they are. You pick them. He's Trump is for sure their greatest warrior. Like this motherfucker is like sabotaging his own country for free. Normally they would have to pay spies so much money. Trump is just doing it for. Well, I mean he's not doing it for free. He's making billions of dollars. But like all the same, he's just fucking over his own country for personal benefit. He don't give a fuck. Exactly. He united China, Korea, and Japan were like the greatest allies America has had in like 80 years, and he fucking instantly got them to turn and go to China. Like, bro, we're China. I don't even know how he says it. He says it like so fucked up. This motherfucker can barely read at like a 3rd grade reading level, and he's leading the greatest fucking economy on the planet. Get me the fuck out of this, bro. Holy fuck. I honestly feel like if you okay, do you guys know that the challenge that like 50 Cent gave to Floyd Mayweather? 50 Cent said like, hey, if you can read a page of a Harry Potter book, I'll donate like $50,000 or like I don't know, like a lot of money to a charity of your choice. And fucking Floyd Mayweather didn't take it. I feel like you could give Trump, be like, hey, if you can read a fucking page of a Harry Potter book, I'll donate $1 million to the Trump Foundation, because fuck me, he would never want it to go to charity, this selfish prick. He couldn't do it to save his fucking life. Get like, Jesus Christ, get me the fuck out of this world, dude. I would actually take the fucking Lord of the Mysteries world over this. Like, it actually somehow feels less horrifying. Amon feels less horrifying than having to live right across from that. Like, Jesus Christ. Amon must have certain guesses about this. You'll have to be careful in the future, Ariana said, before she vanished. Watching this Archbishop leave, Klein sat down and picked up the pen and paper, writing to Leonard. He wanted to ask what other effects the Worms of Time had, other than creating fate siphon charms. I have a few conditions to be president, having served in the military, younger than 60, and as well. Okay, unhinged. Bro, I feel like, okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, the US has like a law that says like the president can't be younger than 35. I feel like they also need to put in I feel like they didn't put this rule in at the when they created the Constitution because no one lived to fucking 80. Like, people died at 47. That was like, if someone made it to 47, they were like, he had a full life, okay? So like there also needs to be like a constitutional amendment, like, hey, you can't be over 60. Come on. How the fuck is the president? How old is Trump? Like 87 or some bullshit? What the fuck? No, he's okay. 79. 79. No one up until like 70 years ago lived that long. He's running the fucking. Oh God. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, we got real political, but don't even get me started on here, bro. Trump saw me growing up. This man is crazy. He's so old. He believed that he couldn't turn all of the Worms of Time into fate siphon charms, as they would be too monotonous. It made it easy to be countered, and it prevented him from handling different situations. You think so? I feel like if you just had 8 fate siphon charms, you would swap, and they'd be like, oh, well, I wanted you to do that. And you swap again, they'd be like, oh, well, you see, I knew you had 2, so I actually wanted you to do that. The last position was actually bad. And they do it a third time, they're like, oh, so, hold on. Reverse. I think I wanted this. I think I also wanted this. And then like Klein throws out a fourth one. And the guy's like, hold on, I need 4 reverses. Who's up here? I don't even understand. Hold on. And you do the math. Bro, you have 8 fate, you have 7 fate siphon charms. You just go reverse, 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 and the guy's just like, I've lost count. With the Worm of Time as a vessel, he could use the powers stirred from other symbols, patterns, and labels that differed from the Fool. This would result in different effects, and this was something Palazoras was an expert at. After writing the letter, Klein blew the adventurer's harmonica. He then saw Raynette Handker walk out. She then cast her gaze at Klein, bit the letter and the gold coin, and Klein said succinctly, "Still 7 Pinster Street. In the future, you can seek my help in such matters. The payment will be the spoils of war." Klein was taken aback. Okay. After Miss Messenger returned to the spirit world and vanished, Klein frowned. Since she can recognize the Worms of Time, it means that she knows that this battle involved angels, but she wasn't scared. Is she stronger than I thought? She's a fallen angel, bro. Yeah, trust. 7 Pinster Street. Leonard received Klein's letter and opened it. Old man, there should be other ways to create charms, right? Leonard asked. Of course. Once I sleep for a while and digest what we received, I'll teach you. It wouldn't take too long. Also, don't go near Balkan Street anytime soon. Why? Leonard asked. All of Amon's avatars have been eliminated from Backland, and it is in no way trivial. The number of people who can do that is a handful. Do you think he will have some guesses? Leonard tensed up. However, there's no need to be too worried. His true body wouldn't be able to enter Backland, and having recovered decently, I don't have to be too worried about his avatars. In addition, I found a piece of information from Flora Jacob from his memory fragments. Somewhere in Backland hides the treasure of the Jacob family. The treasure of the Jacob family? The Jacob is like a royal family from the 4th epoch, right? Like they probably got some shit, you know? They probably got some shit. Abraham, Antigonus, Amon, Jacob, Tamar, the 5 great families that supported the establishment of the Tudor dynasty. Oh, they got some fucking money, bro. Oh, they got some shit. We shall wait until the end of the year for the gathering. You understand how Amon got to know of Eridas? I don't know. He said something about... I don't know. No, I don't know. Mr. Loki, how's it going? He said something about like it having to go to the church, the cathedral or whatever, but I don't know beyond that. We shall wait until the end of the year for the gathering. There, we will seek out and cooperate with the other descendants of the Jacob family to excavate that treasure trove to share the items inside. When that happens, even if Amon gathers a large number of avatars, raising it to almost the level of a Sequence 1, there is no way he can truly defeat me. To ensure balance, Dwayne Dantas can also be involved in it. What? If you're this recovered, how about you get out of his body? Get your own body, you old decrepit fuck. Sorry, I'm still on the Trump kick. I apologize. I don't mean to be ageist. What the fuck is this title? How is this so long? Holy shit. The grandpa and Leonard said he read of Amon's avatar with the same logic. Amon read Rat's memories, who got warned by Airless that Amon is coming. Oh, thank you, Nightwalker. Okay. Leonard felt relieved when he heard the old man. He then cast his attention back to the angel level battle that happened. Which pathway angel does the giant serpent belong to? Snake of Fate, the counselor of the Life School of Thought, a Sequence 1 angel. I never expected him to join. Counselor of the Life School of Thought? He also became a Blessed of the Fool? The corresponding card is the Wheel of Fortune. Leonard's eyes widened, realizing that Mr. Fool's faction seemed comparable to the 7 churches. Death Console, Snake of Fate, Incomplete Messenger? There's at least 3 angels underneath Mr. Fool. No wonder Klein was able to become a demigod so quickly. Just how long has it been? And I'm already embroiled in a battle at an angel level. It's unimaginable what things will happen in the future. Leonard held the letter and sat on the sofa. He felt another surge of urgency towards digesting his Soul Assurer potion and advancing to Spirit Warlock. Soul Assurer. Assurer. What does that even mean? It just means insure in French? Are you fucking kidding me? Soul Insure? It's not the Hero Club is a retirement home for weak angels. He had been busy placating the souls in the Backland region recently, and due to the numerous missions, he was still far from completing them. He couldn't even find an excuse to visit Tingen to steal the power from that drop of EBS's blood. South of the bridge, Rose Street, Harvest Church. Emlyn White, who had changed into his priest robe, stood in front of the long table with candles and pointed to Ernest Boyar, and casually pointed, "To the side, left side. That spot's dirty." What do you mean for Amon? What does that mean? Ernest Boyar, who wore... You know what? I will flip a coin. But you know what we're going to flip a coin for? We're going to flip a coin for the Topaz Pendant. How's that? Listen, fighting username, fuck that. I don't care, okay? We're doing a divination for the thing. $100,000, $10,000, $100,000, million. I should buy the Topaz Pendant. Fuck! Come on! Fuck! Oh my god. You're kidding. Seriously? Ugh. What the fuck? Come on. Fuck. I thought for sure I had that, dude. Oh my god. Still need to look at... No. Username, I'm buying a fucking Topaz Pendant for you, okay? Shut up. God damn it. Okay, fine. Bro, can someone... I'll see if there's like a fucking... I'll see if I can find like a... What the fuck? It's only 10 o'clock? Oh, cool. I'll see if I can find a coupon for that website. Fuck, it's gonna... Oh, God, it's gonna be so expensive. God, I'm poor, guys. Sue me. Okay. Ernest Boyar, who wore his clergyman attire, shot an angry look at Emlyn. but he still listened to his instructions and re-wiped the area. I know you're mad, and it's how I felt when I learned that you deliberately hid key information from me. Also, I forgot to inform you. I'm a Viscount. It all happened last week. Nagato's failed robbery made it even. Oh god. That's the problem. I fucking hate withdrawing money on stream because like as soon as I do it, Nagato and if Kanai is available, him too, both immediately try to rob from me. Like, bro, come on. Oh my god. Whenever we get to 10,000 subs, I also have to buy a fucking brown suit. Do you know how fucking... I'm never gonna wear a brown suit? For the AZIC cosplay, don't get me wrong. But I'm never gonna wear it. Ah, damn it, fine. Okay. Sanguine Viscounts corresponded to Moon Pathways Sequence 5, Scarlet Scholar. The advancement ritual required the illumination of the full moon. Apart from that, one had to gather different metals, gems, and beyonder creature blood. It was rather complicated. However, Emlyn had long obtained the promise from the Sanguine Upper Echelon that a free advancement ritual would be held for him. He would easily advance once the full moon came. As for the digestions of the potion professor's formula, he had fully digested it without putting too much effort. This was because he often taught commoners who were willing to learn at the Harvest Church about herbs and medicine and even the combination of some potions. You're a Viscount? Ernest Boyer shot a look. Among the Sanguine, they were all long-lived, and they had quite a huge population. The number of Beyonder characteristics was limited, so advancing was difficult. One had to be in a long line before they had the opportunity to advance, but Emlyn was only a Baron for half a year. Ernest remembered that it took him 60 years to go from Baron to Viscount. Fucking loser. This was because his father had suffered an attack from artificial vampires and left him the inheritance. Go to Comic-Con dressed to... when's Comic-Con in Toronto? August. Oh, that's in like a month, dude. Fuck that. You think... Hey, listen, unless you guys can somehow triple my fucking sub count in a month, yeah, that ain't happening. Your expression is rather interesting, Emlyn tisked. Perhaps one day you'll have to address me as Lord when I become an Earl. Preposterous! What arrogance! Ernest blurted out. I'm quite humble already. I didn't even mention that I would become a Duke or even a Prince. How am I to be the Sanguine's Messiah without being an angel? Besides, in our tarot club, Mr. World is already a demigod. Ma'am Hermit won't be much longer. It'll definitely be a club filled with demigods, Emlyn chortled. He also understood that the Sanguine had the advantage. He also understood that the advantage the Sanguine had after Scarlet Scholar's stage no longer existed. Becoming an Earl was in no way easier than an artificial vampire advancing to Shaman King. We need Charizard to bring out all her alt accounts. Yeah, I know. The digestion of the Scarlet Scholar potion is still relatively simple. All one needs to do is like the moon, worship the moon, and study the moon. That's what most Sanguine do anyway. Even if I were to obtain a Shaman King characteristic from the sun, I wouldn't be able to become an Earl. Emlyn might be arrogant, but he knew very clearly what was required of him. Why couldn't Emlyn become a Earl even if he got the characteristic? Oh, because it needs to be cleansed, which he can't do without them. I see, okay. There were two core powers of a Scarlet Scholar. First, to create an environment that was advantageous to them. When the enemy wasn't good at spirituality or things related to the spirit world, they could create the effects of a full moon. On the contrary, they could also make it vanish if they wanted. Second, it was to gain an instantaneous blink and spectral form state under certain conditions. Under a certain area of the moon's illumination, even if they were smashed to bit by the enemy, they could still reform under the moonlight. Amon should name a doll the moon then. Jesus Christ, Romero, what the fuck? As for the strengthening of darkness-related spells, the enhancement of potion effects, and the resistances towards nightmare-like influences, they were supplementary. Ernest was enraged by Emlin's attitude. Just as he was about to speak, he saw Utravsky walk out from behind. He bent his back, bowed his head, and continued cleaning. Emlyn also picked up a cloth and began wiping the candle stand. In the silent atmosphere, he thought of something. If he were to leave the church now, would the upper echelons of the Sanguine force him to hand over the items he had obtained? I really have no reason to reject it, because some of the items don't belong to Ernest in the first place. Emlyn thought about it seriously and decided to return to the room later. He would set up a ritual and sacrifice all the items to Mr. Fool. When the time came, he could split it with the other members. The Oath of Rose can't be sacrificed. It's only one part of the pair. Whoever obtains it will be discovered and identified by the other ring wielder. I'll just treat it as a spoil of war. I'll hand it to the Marquis Nibs tonight. I should be able to get some rewards for it. As for the rest, I won't take anything. Yeah, you got it, bro. As for whether the Sanguine upper echelon would bear a grudge, he wasn't worried. This was because he would also mention in passing about the cooperation that the Rose School of Thought's Temperance faction had requested while handing over the Oath of Rose. This happened last week, and he planned on informing the echelon, but in the few mini-gatherings, the Hanged Man advised him to do it after the operation. It would accentuate his importance and mitigate any anger. The carrot, striking with the stick and offering a carrot, Emlyn thought. Clever, clever. Look at that. We made such good timing today. I mean, I still have to do one more chapter, but like we'll be done by like good timing. 2.5 hours for 10 chapters? That is crazy speed. Yeah, and here comes username with the actually you didn't read all of it, so you actually only read like 6 chapters because you skipped so much. Hit me. Come on, hit me. 160 Balkan Street, inside Dwayne Dantas' bedroom. The spoils of war received are pretty good. A diamond brooch that can raise one's energy and maintain lucidity while resisting spells. A paper figurine that can prevent any fatal damage and psychic piercing. I'm fine with paraphrasing. Are you? Since when? But now I'm missing paragraphs or lines that are important. I didn't miss anything that was important. Okay. A belt that can produce sun and lightning damage. A wallet that contains more than 300 pounds. After receiving the sacrifice and returning to the real world, Klein sighed as he sat in front of his desk. He then took out a transparent maggot. Upon seeing this maggot, he felt his head ache, recalling the pain of his having his soul body fracture. This was a worm of spirit that he had fractured from himself. It was to be given to the Snake of Fate, Will Ossepton. He already had an idea how to replicate the item, which could briefly allow someone to restore their strength. It was to use a worm of spirit as a vessel and copy the complete symbol from before to garner a response from the Grey Fog. For this, the outcome of divination was that it would be successful. That item's true essence is one of the powers of the Seer Pathway, Sequence 3, Scholar of Yore. To borrow a portion of power from one's former self. Responding with the Fool would definitely work. Devil, I've said way worse shit to you, bro. What the fuck do you mean? If it succeeds, I'll make myself one. I'll look at myself from the past and see if it'll be Klein Moretti's childhood, or myself hanging in the cocoons. If it's the latter, it's best I can confirm how long I've been there. Oh, that's so clever. Klein entered a cogitation state while in thought. Then he kept constructing the symbols with his mind, allowing his spirituality to repeat the process. This was a complicated and difficult task. If he wasn't careful, it might lead to failure. As all the symbols fell and augmented the worm of spirit, Klein trembled. The worm of spirit ignited by itself and turned to ash. Ugh, life is so difficult, Klein muttered silently. 10, 10. consultant fee counted, and we said Milos, bro, I'm gonna spend like 40 minutes looking through artwork. What the fuck? Damn it, I was coming out. Sensa, you're literally coming on the last chapter, man. How you doing? Those are accurate and his avatar is absolutely needed. Oh my god. What? What did you... Why did you say you disgust me, devil? What the fuck? Good, I just got back from drinks. Ah, that is a good night indeed. Damn. Ah, man, I could fall asleep right now. I haven't even eaten dinner yet, and I could just... Oh, give me... If I just turn around to my bed, I could fall asleep in like 4 minutes. Oh, I'm so sleepy. After rubbing his forehead, Klein was about to split another worm of time when he suddenly saw Raynette Tynecar walk out. In the mouth of one of the heads was a letter. Who's it from? Klein asked. The Mushroom King's superior. Mushroom King? Klein was stunned before realizing it could be Frank Lee. Frank's superior was Cat Leia. The Mushroom King is Frank Lee? Klein asked. The four heads were made to bob up and down as though they were nodding. It is now 50... come on, Milo, stop! The Miss Messenger even gives others nicknames. That's not right. Frank doesn't just specialize in mushrooms. His domains are cow, malt, fish, rose bishops. It's because Frank had a breakthrough in mushrooms recently, so Miss Messenger saw a boat full of mushrooms? He was worried that the letter was Ma'am Hermit's plea for help. Of course, he wasn't too anxious, because at worst, Cat Leia could pray to the fool. This letter did come from Cat Leia. On it were the words, "The Queen has already confirmed time and place, Wednesday, 11 p.m., same place." I have no idea what you said to Frank, but I can tell that he's very excited. He has done many experiments with the artisan. He said that he would be able to produce another phase of results in 3 to 6 months' time. He also made it clear that if you were to obtain the Druid potion, he could save you on making many intermediary objects and directly produce the final outcome. All I can say is that I wish you the best. Rose Bishop lives matter? Absolutely. I think, call me a humanitarian. I think we should take all Rose Bishops, put them in hospitals, and just harvest their organs constantly. I hope that everything will come to an end before the artisan breaks down. He has already begun regretting his faith in the moon, primordial moon. Should I be happy that the securing of the City of Silver's food supply has progressed, or should I be worried about accidents? Yes, and we did read the Amon battle. I mean, feel free to rewind. You can always look back. That was a great battle, though. Dude, there was a moment where I was like, bro, Klein just needs to run. He's cooked. I didn't expect Will Oscepton. That was clever. After all, Hermit, who was about to become a demigod, was watching Frank. If something happened, she would seek help. Having confirmed his meeting with Queen Mystic, he heaved a sigh of relief and burned the letter. After watching Miss Messenger leave, he split another worm of time. He felt that the desk and the letter's ashes in the trash can were abnormally off-putting. Klein got some tissues and wiped the desk before covering the trash can. After doing this, he looked at his hands and stood up and headed for the washroom. As he washed his hands, he caught sight of the toilet beside him through the corner of his eye and frowned. Today's cleaning wasn't done well. Klein softly muttered and realized something was wrong with him. What the fuck are you guys having me end on, bro? What the fuck? What the fuck? Amidst his thoughts, his spiritual intuition explained why he was feeling this way. This was a side effect of using Death Knell. Oh, never mind. Oh, he's just afraid of like dirtiness or like uncleanliness or something. Dirtiness? That's not a word. Is that a word? Dirtiness? Is that a word? Dirtiness is a word. Okay, yeah. He's just afraid of dirtiness. As he had already become a demigod, allowing him to have a qualitative change in his spirit body and attain godhood, the negative effects had been reduced by 90%. The terrifying weakness of germophobia had become a trait of OCD. Senta, that wouldn't be racism. That would be like speciesism, which is just considered like, okay, that's natural survival instinct for your species. There's nothing bad about that. You're fine. As he had already already read this. Likewise, the period of weakness dropped from 6 hours to an hour. Oh, thank God. Klein heaved a sigh of relief as he skillfully pulled out the toilet brush from the side. Oh, bro, I don't know what. I got so scared. I was like, bro, some bullshit's about to happen. Who said I was human, though? You know what, Senta? That's a good point. I didn't consider that. You know what? I apologize. 11 in the evening, above the grey fog. Due to Emlyn's request, all the members involved in the punishment operation appeared above the grey fog. These are all the spoils of war. Emlyn threw 3,000 pounds that he had sacrificed in the middle of the table and explained. One of the items was the Oath of Rose, a paired ring allowing the wearer to be able to share senses with each other. It's very valuable, but I only had one of the rings. Therefore, I handed it over and got 3,000 pounds in return. He originally thought of keeping the pounds as a spoil of war, but decided it was better to sacrifice it. After a pause, Emlyn introduced the other items, listing their effects and negative effects. He's doing it with the intent of flaunting. Otherwise, with Mr. Moon's character, he wouldn't say so much. Oh, I guess he's relaxed because Mr. Fool isn't here, Audrey thought. Alger glanced at the spoils of war and said, "Have you met with the Sanguine upper echelon? Has the hunting of the key members of the Rose School of Thought been confirmed?" I would do What do you mean by that, Devil? What do you mean by that? Alright, Cal, thanks for popping by, buddy. Thanks for staying for so long, man. Yeah, we're on the last chapter. We're like 10 minutes away, and then then we'll react to 400 pieces of art, and then we're done. Pretty much. I've also established contact with a member from the Temperance faction. However, he wishes to carry out the operation after September. Emlyn didn't hide the truth, believing the Hanged Man could be useful. Alger nodded. It has to be after September? It means they're waiting for something. Klein, who was waiting for the mini-gathering to end somewhere in the grey fog, suspected it had to do with Sharon's advancement. According to Sharon, she should have been able to attempt the ritual in July. Don't tell me it'll last a month. If that's the case, that's different from other pathways. Klein had a theory, but he wasn't sure. Possibly, Amon thought after a while before agreeing. Following that, he surveyed the area and said, "You can begin choosing." Audrey had Mr. World's promised Fate Siphon Charm, and Leonard had obtained the corresponding rewards from the old man. They appeared rather calm with the spoils of war offered by the Viscount. None of them rushed. In addition, they had either experienced an angel-level battle in person or witnessed the horrors brought about by it. Therefore, they had confirmed the Tarot Club contained potent forces and were suffering from some mental fatigue. Gio looked at her right before looking forward. She broke the silence. I was involved in a very simple part of this and didn't take much of a risk. Furthermore, Mr. Moon has already paid £60. I'll just take the cash in the wallet. She counted it, £335. Emlyn surveyed the area and nodded when no one objected. Okay. As for the handcrafted wallet, Gio threw it into the table and returned it to Mr. Moon to handle it himself. Fours then said, "I only let Limanos travel, didn't take any risk. I'll take that moon paper figurine." What is that? What does the paper figurine do? Compared to mystical items, such expendable Beyonder items were relatively lower in value. Dr. Z. Romero, that's so mean. However, to the magician herself, she wouldn't have selected a mystical item even if she could. This was because she could hire the corresponding member to record it if she needed the item. As for the paper figurine, it was an expendable item that could take a fatal blow and psychic piercing once. Okay, makes sense. Don't need it. I don't need you to tell me. It couldn't be recorded. It was definitely the first choice for someone like her. After saying that, she waited for a moment. When no one objected, she took the figurine. Amon then cast his gaze to Miss Justice. Leonard extended his hand and said, "Ladies first." Audrey didn't decline the offer as she swept her gaze across the items and pointed at the diamond brooch and said, "I'll take this." She had heard Mr. Moon mention its name was Alcohol Nemesis. Bro, I can't get drunk if I take that? Fuck that. It kept the wearer brimming with energy and lucidity in their thoughts. Thankfully, I first used bribes, charm to be safe, and with Ernest still being in a half-conscious state after waking up from the dream, I wouldn't have been able to hypnotize him. But this is also useful to me. At the very least, it'll give me another layer of protection when facing high-level members of the Psychology Alchemists. I don't have to worry about the negative effects if I'm not always wearing it. After this selection, Emlyn didn't give Leonard the chance to speak and said, "This moon sash is yours." From his point of view, the moon sash was worth more than £5,000. A lot more valuable than £3,000. Actually, I was leaning towards taking the £3,000. I have to buy the word of C, and the price is still £10,000 after Klein gave a discount. After spending that, I'll only have £650 in savings. But ultimately, Leonard didn't reject and nodded. Okay. Emlyn finished distributing the spoils of war, picked up the £3,000 and split a stack to the side and said, "Mr. Hankman, this is your payment, £1,000. Call it a consultation fee." Without Mr. Fool present, Fours was also a lot more relaxed. Alder didn't stand on ceremony as he nodded, taking the stack of cash. "Bro, we're making stacks on stacks on stacks." The compensation of the carriage driver will also be borne by me. Emlyn surveyed the area in a rather good mood. Well, yeah, he made $2,000. He's chilling. Well, 1900, I guess. 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. At the south entrance of the Backland Bridge, a figure phased into existence in the night sky, with one hand on his hat and another by his buttons. None other than the crazy adventurer, Gehrman Sparrow. And thus ends 10 chapters in 2.5 hours. 15 minutes a chapter average for 10 chapters. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a fucking world record. Goddamn. I should go on America's Got Talent. But after what's been happening in America, I don't want to. Haha. We're getting back to politics, boys. I'm just kidding. Alright. Oh god, there is so much of... Oh my god! There's so much female Amon art. Even just skipping past it, I saw so much. Time to get nuked by Amon art, I know. This is beautiful, though. Even the painting or the portrait in the background or whatever, this is amazing. Monocle in both eyes. Alright, I'll order the monocle and the fucking pendant. I'll see if I can find like coupons or something. Yes, username, I did take a look. They were awesome, man. I actually don't remember them if I'm honest off the top of my head, but I did see them. Yeah, I'll order the topaz pendant and the monocle, but I mean, I'll see if I can find Oh shit, Santa, do you not have it? Yeah, no worries, man. I'll do that. No worries. Sorry. If you have it linked up with your thingamaj, if you have your YouTube linked with your Discord, it auto does it. That's why I have like a thing here to do that. But if it's not connected, then just, yeah, if you're a member, by the way, and you don't have the high sequence role in the Discord, just please let me know. If your YouTube is linked to your Discord, it'll auto do it. If it's not, I'll have to manually do it. So it's not the end of the world if it's not. Just message me or, just put it in chat like Santa did. I have it linked, but it doesn't show me as high sequence. Really? No worries. I'll take care of it, man. I assume this is you, Senta? Okay, no worries. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it after stream, buddy. Don't worry. By the way, same thing for anyone else. If you're a member and you, for whatever reason, don't have the high sequence... Okay, perfect, Senta. I'll take care of it in a second. And you don't have the high sequence role in Discord, just... If you're watching the VOD, leave a comment or something. I'll when I see it, I'll get that updated for you guys. It's no worries. I don't know. It should do it automatically, but if it's not, fuck me. I'll do it manually. It's not the end of the world. Jesus Christ, there's so much. I don't understand. Why do you guys like Amon so much? He's so evil. Wow, that is okay. We're already to the female art. That was quick. Oh, this is beautiful. What? Who made this? How many wings? 6 wings? 2, 4, 6. Bro. You only have half that the Angel of Mr. Fool does? Or ask Ramiro. Yes, he can also do it. No worries, DSV. I appreciate you staying the entire time, buddy. Have a good workout. Wow, you only dropped down to 2 wings now? Wow, get fucked, loser. But my god, look at this fucking like this is so intricate. It's like the workings of an actual clock. It's amazing. What is the crow? I don't get that. What's the crow up? What is this? What's up with the crow? Dude, I swear I didn't connect this to the monocle for a second, and I thought Amon was crying. I was like, what the fuck is he crying, bro? Crow Amon? Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna just mute it really quickly because otherwise we're gonna keep hearing it. Damn, there's so much female Amon art. I mean, I get the reason. I get that he can transform into a woman, but damn, guys, chill. How are you making Amon X Amon art? What the fuck? Is there even a word for that if you're, like, attracted to you? Is there even a word for that? This is really cool, by the way. What the fuck? Is this like a divination thing? Or like what's the ball that like astrologers use to try to bullshit you out of money? I mean, they don't do anything else. I ain't touching that one. The side of the Phantom I try to avoid. Yeah, I can see why. At least make this one a guy. Why are they both girls? By the way, Ramiro, just as a heads up, just as a little point of fact, I think you might appreciate. So when I started my Elden Ring run, I'm still really early on because I get to play for like maybe half an hour before I had to leave, and then I haven't logged on. But I set my character as Sharon as best I could. It doesn't look like her at all, but I mean, I did my best. And I have the prisoner class, so I think it's very fitting. It also means my stats are garbage, though. Damn. Okay, this is really cool art, especially with the thingamajig. The Plague Doctor mask. Oh shit, dude. The Plague Doctor mask is so cool. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but all the same, we'll pull it up for a second. Man, can you imagine the aura? Like, you're dying, and a man pulls up in your house like this, and you're like, damn, brother. Whew. W, but seeing Sharon in that shitty headgear is torture. That's the thing. That's the neat part. You don't see her. Right now, my current character is a Flame Paladin Confessor. What the fuck? This is nice too. Why? Why you gotta make it so weird, bro? This one's also cute. They're all female Amon. This is insane. That one's very saucy. Good lord. Why is there so much blood back here? Who did she kill? Bro, there's blood seeping out here too. She just committed a massacre in this room. Over here too. There's blood everywhere. Will accept it? What do you want? Klein's gonna... Wait, Amon's gonna kill Will Ossepton? Because the scissors. Bro. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't look like Amon. But other than that, like other than his face, like this looks beautiful. He even got hands good. Hands are like really hard to draw. Was the gifted sub given to Romero Nice mod? No. Romero is my second mod ever. I think technically first was Milos because he asked first. Wow. Oh my god. That might be amazing. Romero is actually also the first member ever. Canonically. Not even well, just literally. Wow. Oh my. This might be my favorite Amon art. That's official? Okay, that makes sense. But that's amazing. Okay, how would you guys feel if we had him as an honorary Tarot Club member on the thing, on the GIF here, on the. We're gonna have to add Geo as well. We'll do it as a different. We'll add Geo as a set. Santa. Thank you, dude. You didn't have to. What the fuck? Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you, but really, there's. Thank you. I'm not great with words for this stuff, man. But thank you so much. W's in the chat for Santa, please. Yeah. No, thank you so much, dude. Holy fuck. That's money, yes. Congratulations. Yes. You can now watch VODs chillingly. On winning. Yeah. Can we, at least Nightwalker didn't get it, W. Yeah. As long as Kami doesn't get it, I don't give a fuck who else does, okay? God, Kami does not. I mean, actually, he's been actually pretty good recently. Wow, this is amazing. What the fuck? Bro, do you guys see the glare on it? Am I on the right screen? Do you guys see the glare over here? This is so well done. I mean, yeah, Unhinged can get it. I just ignore him like I do when he's not a member. Senta, oh my god. Holy fuck. Thank you, dude, but... Holy shit, thank you so much, Santa. Alright, you know what, boys? We can't afford to get the pendulum now. We're chilling, don't even worry about it. W's in the chat as always for Santa. Thank you so much, man, seriously. But seriously, okay. Yeah, that's it, no more, okay? No more. I feel bad. Again, as always, I appreciate all my members regardless, but like, I don't, you know, I feel bad, I don't know. Coin flip 5. Okay, you know what, Justin? I'm in a good mood. Let's coin flip 5 mil. Fuck it. You know what? Let's coin flip 5 mil. Let's see what happens. Coin flip or coin flip or blackjack? What are we thinking? Oh my god, this is amazing too. What the fuck? Is this official? This is beautiful. Oh my god. Coin flip? Not official? Okay. My god, that should be. Bro, whoever this fucking artist is, fucking hire him to do Lord of the Mysteries official art. What the fuck? What could this guy do with resources, you know? Let's draw. Okay, I'm just gonna do a small one really quickly, because I have a feeling I need to get my bad luck out really quickly. So I'm gonna do, no, you know what? That's some bitch lasagna shit. We ain't doing that. Wait, are you buying from that one website for the monocle? The one that, username sent, I think. Wait, was it not you? Who the fuck sent it to me? What? Oh, did I just find it? No. No, where the fuck is it? I might just... Did I just find it? Hold on. Oh, I did just find it. Never mind. Okay. This one over here. This one, and then you guys convince... I'm not going to history, right? And then these guys convinced me I'll buy the pendulum as well. I said, oh yeah, you're right. I'll buy the pendulum as well. The pendulum looks cool. Like, that looks beautiful. That'd be like a really cute necklace I could wear. I recently bought one. Oh shit! What did you buy, Santa? What did you buy? Monocle, it's getting shipped. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Holy fuck. All right. Walter, why the fuck would I do that on stream? Are you out of your fucking mind? Wait, ain't that the citrine one? You said topaz? I don't know. What the fuck is citrine? Am I dumb? What the fuck? By the way, I'm not gonna get it right now because, good lord, let me at least work till I get my first paycheck before I start spending like a fucking madman. But this looks so cool. This is beautiful. I really, if this wasn't gold, I would totally. Steampunk. Okay, this is cool, but I mean, again, what the fuck am I gonna do with oh yes, gamble. Sorry. I got distracted. I get distracted, bro. I'm like a fucking cat. $100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. Okay, just a web novel translate. Oh, I see. Okay. 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. All right, for all of you. Okay, love you guys. No, wait, no, we need to do a divination. We can't just do nothing. It doesn't mean anything otherwise. Okay, hold on. What do we divine? What do we divine? Evernight goddess theory? Amon toilet theory. No. I did 5 theory, no? I did 5 mil. I'm pretty sure. Okay, what would I do? What would I do? Nast becoming... No. Okay, you guys are freaking me out about the Nast theory. ASG one? Oh, we can do something regarding ASG. But what do you mean the ASG one, Romero? I don't know. Someone remind me. As if Amon will be your future girlfriend. What the fuck are you? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, okay. No, okay, 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 okay. No, no, I got it, I got it. Oh, no. Wait, what? Okay. 100,000, 10,000, 100,000 million. Okay. What the fuck do you mean? Did I just lose my... Did I... There's no fucking shot I lost it, right? What the fuck? You're fucking kidding me. You're fucking kidding. I don't care. That's actually insane. 100,000, 10,000, 100,000 million. You know what? Either we go down to 1 million again or we go all the way back up. 100,000, 10,000, 100,000 million. The ancient sun god is attempting to come back or reincarnate back. Didn't lose a fucking thing, baby! Oh, baby! Nah, we're back to where we were. No problem at all. Sorry, what were we talking about? It's no problem, you know? Money is of no consequence to sequence 7, the lucky one. Let's go. Bro, that was so crazy. How did that work? How? I'll pray for you today. I've already seen these ones. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. No, you guys can't just keep increasing the number until I lose everything. Fuck you guys. No. No, I'm not. No, Ramiro. No, there's no universe. Because then if I do 10, then you guys are going to go, oh, no balls, 20. You said it's no problem. Like, it just keeps going until I lose. That's the answer. No. See, this is why you guys have a gambling problem. See, I win. It can't be a problem if you're winning, you know? It's a problem if you're losing. I ain't losing. Which one? Damn. Amon's actually mogging. He's like, damn. Center, are you doing a cosplay? Am I allowed to know who you're cosplaying? You guys can't just goad me by saying no balls. No, not how this works. This is amazing too. There's so many crows. No, not yet. Oh, okay, okay, no worries. I'll leave it there. Damn, he looks like a kid here. He looks like a joyful kid who would steal your entire life. This is beautiful too. Is this in decent quality and I just can't see it here? No, okay, this is a little bit smaller. I was thinking if it's a little bit bigger, we can maybe put that as the new background. But I mean, I like the current one, so it's all good. Autumn, how's it going, man? You're coming right at the end of stream. We just finished reading. We're just checking out some art, a lot of art actually. Wow, that is so good. That's so, like, even the chains, the links, the, I don't even know what the fuck that is in the background. I don't know what this fucking line, this line here is, though. It's interesting. Just woke up. Good morning. Do a $10 flip for whether you do. That's not how that works, bro. Oh, it's a watermark. Exile to hell. Who exiled him? To hell. Is the city of Silver hell? Did he get exiled by the gods? Am I thinking too deeply into it? I don't know. Am I crazy or does this look like Klein as like with the monocle? Who exiled him? Because when I think exile, I immediately think Mr. Door. And I think he was exiled by gods. I think, because who the fuck has the power to exile as sequence 1? This actually looks like Klein. This is crazy. I don't know why, but that reminds me of Benson. This one? It just reminds me of Klein again. Because I see this black on black, and I think Klein with the rain jacket or what, like long coat that he had as a Nighthawk. I should immediately go to that. Dude, I'm so ticked. I actually just lost 5M? That's insane to me. What do you mean? If I do this, what does that do? Actually, dude, like this is what they mean by the casino always wins. They just steal your shit. What the fuck? Bro, okay, you can tell this guy's cheating, okay? This guy's cheating. He has, I'm not sure if any of you follow chess, but he has something up his ass that's telling him what moves to make, okay? Now, those of you who don't follow chess might think that's a joke. Those of you who do follow chess, no, that's not a joke. All right, guys, I think we'll end stream there. Thank you so much, everyone. Next are the organs. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for a fantastic stream. That was fucking great, dude. Less than 3 hours, 10 chapters out. That was fucking goated. I'm still on my way out. Hopefully, I can catch you on your Lord of the Mysteries reads before 11:50. I'm still on the 200 chapters I gotta lock in. Wait, Eric, is this your first read through? Wait, if you're not in the Discord, consider joining. We'll talk there. I have to eat food. I'm fucking starving. But, alright, bye guys. As always, thank you so much everyone for coming. Have a great rest of your night. I'll catch y'all tomorrow about the same time in like 21 hours or so. Bye guys.